but every single time when I start streaming, it always has a delay. So let me just go like 1, 2, 3. All right.
I'm already live on my end.
All right, good. So in honor of so it's Shrek Day, everybody. Happy National Shrek Day.
The only reason why we know Smash Mouth Day.
That's not true.
No, that's not true.
They
had tons of other singles.
The first time I was ever introduced
literally less than a dozen.
The first time I was introduced to Smash Mouth was in middle school band. Because one of the songs that my old teacher, whose name I will not name because he has kind of a bad reputation, so I don't want to put the guy on blast.
Was it the big guy with the Mustang?
Yeah. So my band teacher, as Nick alluded to, he was a portly gentleman, a portly older gentleman who had a Mustang, and I'm not saying this is his fault, but he was a diabetic, and he would do insulin in front of us.
Did he really?
Yeah, dude. He would be in his office, and he'd be like, "Patrick, come here. I gotta come talk to you." He'd be like, so he would God, I don't. That's all coming back to me now. He would he would call you in for something unrelated to like, Patrick, I need you to practice this. I need you to practice these scales. And so while he was doing this, he would pull his shirt up and he would just be like, and I'm like,
that's just like, there's no way you can do that nowadays.
But
like,
now,
granted, you shouldn't have been doing it anyway back in that day, but still, even more so.
The first time I ever heard of All Star was because in middle school band, that was one of the songs that was on that the advanced band and the wind ensemble got to play. So like, when you were in beginning band and advanced band, the motivation to get to play All Star was like, oh, if you wanna play All Star, if you wanna play the Shrek song, you have to qualify for.
If you gotta play the Shrek song, I love how it's, even back then, it was so synonymous with Shrek.
By the way, so before we start the show, I wanted to talk to you about something. I was in the car the other day, and
okay.
Do you ever? By the way, I'm sorry for my mom is having a friend over, so my dogs are going like ballistic right now. So I apologize. They'll be quiet.
No, it's all right. I also have some friends and family over and stuff like that too. So,
but anyway, I was in the car the other day, and I remembered, and I had a memory come back that I hadn't thought about in years. And I have a before I tell this story, I have a question for you. Okay.
Okay.
Are there memories that you have that you remember them happening as a kid or as a teenager, but now as an adult, you don't know whether or not that was real or something you just made up?
Necessarily, no.
Okay.
I have a pretty decent memory when it comes to that sort of thing. Like, I've told you the story about how I burned my feet as a baby, trying to get a Reese's cup. And I burned the bottom of my feet on the radiator.
So, okay, let me tell the story, and then I'll tell you why the story is weird.
Okay.
So I have this distinct memory of being a middle school.
You gotta go into your mind palace.
My mind, yes. I've got to go into my mind palace. By the way, that term has actually become like really common phrase now. Whenever you have like a character that's like an intellect-based character, it's always like, oh, he's going into his mind palace. Anyway, so I remember being in middle school. I want to say I was in either 6th or 7th grade, and I was going trick-or-treating with a couple of my friends from school who lived about a block away from me. Right, like we all lived really close together.
Okay.
And I remember one time we went up to a house, and there was no lights on at this house. And one of my friends was
the
saying,
universal sign for fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I remember in the memory,
like, for those who don't know, who are not from the States at all, when you're trick or treating and when you have lights on, like, that's the universal sign to say, like, come on up, we got candy. Right. But if there's any lights off whatsoever, it's pitch black, that is the universal sign for, like, do not come up here. We have nothing for you. Get lost.
Exactly. So one of my friends said, hey, let's go to that house. and we were and in the memory, I remember
bad sign.
we said okay, and so we go up to the front door of this house. And by the way, like I said, it's like pitch black. There's no lights on. So we knock on the door like.
I only heard like one little tap. That noise cancellation is so good.
My pop filter's real good. Anyway, so we knock on the door, and there's an older woman's voice, really raspy, and she says some very
what?
No, she says
what did he say?
She says some variation of like
I don't have any chocolate for you.
She basically says some variation of like get lost, like we don't have any candy, get lost. And and so
sweet chocolate. I
hold
always
on.
hated it.
Hold on. I gotta tell this story.
Okay.
So we knock on the door. There's this older woman behind the door, and she says, "Get lost! I don't have any candy. Get out of here." And one of my friends said, like, "Oh, come on, lady. We know you're holding out on us," or some comment to that effect, right?
Yeah. As you do, being a smart ass kid.
And so afterwards, I distinctly remember hearing the pump action of like a shotgun, like and so this caused all four of us kids to go ah and run away.
Did you think it was like?
Now here's the thing. As a kid and as a teenager, I distinctly remember this happening.
Okay.
But as an adult, I keep thinking to myself, did that actually happen, or was that just a story like a ghost, like an Are You Afraid of the Dark type story we just made up? And here's the thing,
it's hard to say.
It's weird because I'm getting older now, and like stuff I did as a middle schooler and stuff I did as like an elementary school kid, I'm starting to lose some of that stuff, and so now
I've lost that stuff.
And so now I'm living in this twilight of. Like, can I trust my own memories? Did that story, did the story with the lady with the pump action shotgun actually happen? Or was that just some story my friends and I made up because it sounded like a fun ghost story? Or like a spooky story?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but it's going to be one of those things where, like, you know, it could have been a figment of your imagination. Like, the human mind isn't fully developed until you're, like, 25.
Right.
So it could have been. I mean, I wasn't there. I can't attest to the story whatsoever. But I mean,
like,
it sounds
like I'm genuinely curious. Do you have memories like this where, like when you were little, you could have sworn that these things actually happened? That you have a distinct memory of this stuff happening, but now as an adult,
no. I block out I block out so many memories. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, like sometimes it'll come up to me when I'm like at family gatherings and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, remember when so and so tortured you? It's like, I don't remember that at all. It's like, oh yeah, you would torture you all the time, and I'm just like,
sometimes
I have no recollection.
Yeah, sometimes little kids, if they go through a lot of trauma, they will repress a lot of it. Actually,
so many memories.
I was kind of the opposite though. Anytime something bad, I think it's just because as I was growing up, I just happened to have like. I was more of like an emotional kid than I was a more emotional boy than I think a lot of other people were. So I distinctly remember a lot of times where I was really upset and really like vulnerable.
I think that's one of the main reasons why like a lot of us now, especially people in our generation, like we were kind of the last generation of kids to really like, because whenever we got hurt, what did our dads always say? You know, walk it off.
My dad would always say,
suck it up.
My dad would always say, you have,
take a salt tablet.
No. He would say
he would say
he would crouch. So I would fall over and I would start crying and he would crouch down to me and he would say, "All right, Pat, you got two choices. Either go home and sleep it off, or get up and walk it off. You got to make that choice." And that was a good lesson with mixed success. Sometimes I understand the heart of what it is.
Dad, yeah, well, my dad was kind of like my dad's really cool now. He's like a super chill dude now, but back in the day, he was pretty intense. Like, for those who don't know, I don't want to say too much, but like he was a drill sergeant growing up.
That'll
like,
do it.
I had a drill sergeant for a dad.
That'll do it.
So, yeah. So like whenever I hurt myself and stuff like that, I would, or just be bleeding. I was just like, "Are you dying? No." And walk it off. I'm just
Well, you
like,
told the story on a previous weekly chat about the time that you broke your arm and your dad
the
didn't
time I
believe
broke my
you.
arm. Yeah.
That was nothing that bad ever happened to me, thankfully. There was one time though.
Have you never broken a bone, like, ever?
If you count teeth, yes. If you, but if you're talking about like arm, leg, that kind of thing,
Yeah, like
no,
arms,
no.
fingers, like
I
something
think
like that.
the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I think I also talked about this on the show, so I don't want to repeat myself. When I was hiking, when I was like a teenager, I was with my uncle, and I was at a place called Gargoyle Ridge, and we were climbing up a big slope, and I slipped on some gravel, and I fell like directly on my tailbone.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah,
For those who don't know, because I've experienced this too,
yeah,
bruising your tailbone is one of the worst freaking things you can ever bruise in your entire life. I remember I was screwing around on my old couch back in my old house. And like, like the little armrest things that they have? It was like a big L-shaped couch, but it had an armrest with a cup holder on it. I was screwing around with my cousins, and I landed my tailbone on the corner of the freaking like armrest. I could not lay down properly or sit down properly for like a month. I'm pretty sure I cracked it, but I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
everything hurt.
When I fell on my tailbone, I was on my ass for the whole rest of the day. Thankfully, like I didn't have to go to the doctor or anything, but I was just sore for like 2 or 3 days. Especially
I don't know how the hell
especially
I
that first
survived.
day.
God damn, man. I don't know how the hell we survived
I mean,
as kids.
I think that getting a few scrapes and bruises is fine. I think it builds character.
It does to some extent, but
Right.
like, especially with my childhood, like, I would ride like mountain bikes and stuff like
Yeah.
that in creeks with no helmet on. I remember these old neighbors that I used to hang out with. They would have airsoft guns, and then I would walk in, and then they would just shoot me with the
Yeah.
airsoft gun
I knew
with
about
no eye protection.
Yeah.
They would always get me dead. Like I looked like I had like mosquito bites all over through my chest. Like they would just light me up every time I'd walk through the door. It's like, hey guys, how you doing? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
It was like
similar
that scene in The Godfather.
similar thing happened to me growing up. Our family friends, they had kids that were around my age, and so my dad has several friends from college and from work, and so I went over to one of his one of his friends' houses. Jesus Christ, I can't talk today. And so they have 2 sons and a daughter, and the 2 sons were really into BB guns for a point for a period of time, and like listen,
I know. I was friends with those kids, not those kids in particular, but I was friends with those kids.
I was the kind of
They
kid.
ever whip out the
I
pellet
was the
gun?
kind of kid in middle school and even in early high school. I just wanted to sit alone in the corner and play my Game Boy Advance. I just wanted to play some like freaking Pokemon Emerald. I didn't want to do BB guns. And like nowadays they're a lot.
Yeah.
Like nowadays they're like way better, but like not actually. It wasn't even my dad's friends' sons. It was their shithead friends who would like, hey man, you should come play with us as they shoot me with BB guns while I'm sitting in a lawn chair.
Yeah, BB guns fucking hurt.
Yeah.
I remember I almost got shot with a pellet gun one time, and I don't know if you like have seen what a pellet gun looks like. It's like a bullet. Like
yeah, of
it's
course.
loud. It sounds like an air compressor going off.
One of my very first memories of elementary school. It's so weird, the stuff that I was talking earlier about the stuff that I remember and the stuff that I don't remember. I have a very distinct memory of the first day of first grade. 2 things happened. One, so classes started at 8:30, and I got dropped off at about like 7:45, and so I was wandering around the playground, and I remember in the sand there were these little like small, like what I thought was a bouncy ball, because it was this little colorful ball. And when I was like rolling it out of my hand, and it like broke open, and then I realized like, oh, that's not a bouncy ball, it's a paintball. So somebody
Oh.
the night before had been around there like playing paintballs and like dropped some paintballs. But as a first grader, I didn't know what a paintball was, and so I was like, "What's happening?" I thought that I was bleeding. So I was
I
like,
think
"What is happening?"
I think red paintballs are actually illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now,
like they're just like, why am I bleeding blue
and
or
then also,
pink or whatever?
my second memory of that same morning was, and by the way, this is a historic occasion. Uh, Pokemon cards had like just come out, and one of my sister's friends was kind of.
Did you have to did you have to choke somebody or threaten a retail worker to get them?
We'll get to that story later in the podcast. No, but and I didn't know what a trading card was. I was like, "What is this?" And I remember one of my sister's friends, for no reason, she gave
Is Wayne
me.
Brady gonna have to choke you for a
No,
Pikachu?
there was nothing like that that happened. I was a first grader. Christ, Nick, come on. Listen. I didn't even know what trading cards were. I'm getting to that in the story. Oh, get back off. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I remember for no reason whatsoever,
you love it. Don't lie.
she was really nice, and she gave me my very first trading card ever was a Thunder Energy, like a Thunder Pokemon Energy. She's like, "Oh, you don't have any cards? Here, have this one." I don't know why she randomly gave me a Thunderbolt Energy, and so I remember going into the classroom when the bell rang, and I remember the sands of time have made me forget. I don't remember this teacher's name, so I'm gonna say that her name is Mrs. Blanchard. I just made that up, but like I have no idea what her name is. So Mrs. Blanchard calls us in, and she says something to the effect of, "So, rumors are spreading about how there are playing cards with monsters on them. I just want you all to know that if you have any of those cards, you better turn them over to me now, because if I catch you with them, I'll confiscate them from you." Blah, 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 blah. And I remember being like, and I remember
God.
I had the card in my backpack, and I was just kind of like crunching my backpack down, like, it was fine. She did. It was fine. She never confiscated anything. She was some old broad.
Yeah, broad. All right. Do you remember when like
Jesus Christ? What am I, a 1930s gangster? Yeah, she was a broad.
Hey, you better give me that Hitmonchan toots.
Yeah, exactly. No, she was okay.
Do you remember back in the day when we were in elementary school where they tried to put the kibosh on like any like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh? They were just like, I remember they had like the box Dude, of like confiscated shit
in high school. And this is years later. In freaking high school, I was in a creative writing class as an elective, right? And I had a buddy, and I won't say his name, but I'll make up a name. James. That's not his name, but that's his made up name.
Do I know James?
I don't think so. No. If you do, I would be surprised. But anyway, so I was in a class with my friend James, and we were playing some it was like a day right before Christmas break, and so we weren't really having like a proper like lesson. It was kind of like it was sort of like a do whatever you like.
Like a study hall, sort of like, you know what? Well, I don't want to do anything. I'm going to put on a video or something.
Exactly. The teacher had thrown on a movie, and she said, "Do whatever you want." And I remember playing, and so my friend James is sitting right behind me, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to put the discs together and play some magic cards?" And I'm like, "Okay," because at the time I was really into Magic. And by the way, all the other people in this classroom were like shouting and throwing paper ball, like they were throwing up crumpled paper. They were
you were just minding your own business.
My friend James and I were sitting there quietly playing Magic cards. And my teacher comes up to us, and she takes if you don't know, when you play Magic, you have to put cards in front of you on the table, and you have to have, and so you have two distinct decks of cards. And so she came. I remember, I'll never forget this. She came up and she like took all the cards and put them, and she scrunched them together in a big pile. And she's like, "You shouldn't be playing games during class." And my friend James and I are stunned. We're like, "Do you not see what's going on over here? Like."
Chaos.
We're just sitting here minding our own business, and so yeah, she confiscated my Magic cards and his Magic cards. But here's the thing. Thankfully, like I think about a week later, my friend James comes up to me in the hall and he's like, "Hey man, I got our cards back here." So credit to him, he gave me all my cards back. He was like, "Hey man, these are your cards. I'm sorry about that nonsense." And I'm like, "Oh dude, it's not your fault." You know? It was stupid.
That's such bull. Well, it's just like not playing any games in class, and meanwhile they're like spitting spitballs.
And she was all dramatic about it too. She came up like a vulture and was like, and she like scrunched all the cards together. Like, what are you? This
is why your husband left you, Phyllis.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, we should probably get onto the show proper.
I agree. Welcome, dear viewers, to the weekly chat with Nick and Pat.
20 minutes in.
20 minutes in. That was a pretty long cold open.
That's true. I like the cold open though.
I love the cold open too. This is episode, I believe, 17.
Yes,
of the official YouTube canon.
Yes, it's 17 of the official canon, not the lost episodes.
Not the lost episodes. Do you even have any of the lost episodes?
I think I have like one or two.
One or two? Because we did
if you're watching this on YouTube and you really want to watch some of our older, so I have good news and bad news. If you're watching this right now and you want to watch our really, really old episodes that we didn't really, where we were kind of just sort of learning the ropes and our lighting and our mics are horrible, if you want to watch those, I have bad news. They don't exist. However, back in the day, I was a lot more vigilant about making clips and videos. So there are actually there's actually several different clips and videos of those old episodes. So if you want a little window,
you have a few on yours. I have a few on my channel.
If you want a window back into when our production quality sucked even more than it does right now,
I happen to think our production quality is not too bad this time around.
Self-deprecation is how I heal and deflect.
It's not healthy, Pat. Trust me. But anyway,
I am nothing. Anyway, yeah. If you want to, okay. In all seriousness, if you want to go and watch that old stuff, it's there on my Twitch channel and on Nick's Twitch channel.
Yeah, but also make sure to subscribe. Make sure to comment within the first hour. Make sure to smash the bell, as I say. It really helps us out. It keeps us relevant in the algorithms because the algorithm has been pretty aggressive lately. So make sure to follow us on Twitch too at The Obsidian Man and Dark Knights. Give us a follow.
My name is Andrew Tate, and your YouTube engagement.
That's another $1 for the Andrew Tate tax.
Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, my name is Andrew Tate, and this is not Let's Not Be a True Horror Podcast. This is instead the weekly chat with Nick and Pat. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, leave a comment telling me your scary story or something relevant to the video. I don't know. Anyway, goodbye. Wow, I can't believe Andrew Tate was on our show for like 10 seconds. That was so wonderful.
Now you see here, these weekly chat boys, they're being paid off by the lizard people.
Yeah, that checks out. That's sure. Why not?
In fact, they were there when the towers fell at 9/11. They teleported out of there from the top of the towers.
Oh man,
they had a laser guided pointer towards. I can't even say it.
How can jet engines melt steel beams? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, God, I'm sorry. It's too easy of a joke to make. I'm sorry. In
fact, these guys were around in the 60s when the moon landing happened. They were there to greet the astronauts. They basically gave them the Necronomicon.
I'm so sorry for the people watching this show.
I'm not. This is hilarious.
Anyway.
Oh, man. But anyway.
Yes.
So, speaking of Pokemon cards, you have a story for us.
Yes, that's right.
Why don't we talk about that?
Okay. So
apparently people are dying over Pokemon cards. There's blood in the streets.
Yes.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
The official story is so some context for this story before I talk about it. Recently, due to there's a number of factors, but long story very short, because of the pandemic and because of certain aspects of the economy and certain aspects of the stock market and things like that, first edition really old Pokemon cards, and also by extension modern day Pokemon cards that are part of competitive metadecks for the Pokemon TCG, they have skyrocketed in value. Now here's the thing: when it comes to trading card markets and stuff, it sort of goes through a boom and bust period. There are certain times, there are certain years where the value of really old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards, Pokemon cards goes up, and then there are certain years where it goes down, and it goes up, and it goes down. It just so happened.
I know. I think Logic the Rapper, he spent like $50,000 on like a mint holographic Charizard, I believe.
And by the way, that's actually kind of like, I guarantee you that probably was only like so there's this. Okay. Long story, very, very short. There is a, in the world of collecting, there is a system called grading. And what that is, for anybody who doesn't know, there are these companies that will evaluate the quality and the condition of collectible items. So for
they'll do it for like comic books, trading cards.
So for example,
collectible.
if you have a Barry, if you have a Barry Bonds or a Pontus Wagner baseball card, which are two of the rarest baseball cards ever.
What about the greatest rookie card of all time, Mike Schmidt?
Nobody knows who Mike Schmidt is.
I don't buy it, bitch. Go get me one.
Oh god. Anyway, the deep cuts. Anyway,
it's always funny jokes.
Yes. But anyway,
yes.
So this company will grade particularly rare pieces of collectible memorabilia, right? So if you have a Pontus Wagner card, if you've got like a Barry Bonds card, if you have a holographic Charizard, if you have honestly, the thing that I didn't know was like there's two limited print run editions of the Blue Eyes White Dragon that were released through Shonen Jump and through the Yu-Gi-Oh 15th anniversary. There was a set of cards that got released called like the Yu-Gi-Oh 15th anniversary special collection. And what they were like really old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but they were drawn, but they were illustrated by different artists. Like it was the same card, and they did the same stuff as the old versions, but they were done with a dramatically different art style compared to the rest of Yu-Gi-Oh. And here's the thing, I saw the anniversary packs in the store when I was younger, and part of me wanted to buy it, but I was like, no, it'll be there next time, and it was gone. They did a print run for a month, and it was gone. To this day, whenever I go on Amazon and I see a listing for the 15th anniversary Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician, I scream because I saw those cards.
How much are they now?
It depends on the quality, but the Blue Eyes White Dragon, the 15th anniversary Blue Eyes White Dragon is worth upwards of like $400. And then the Dark Magician, I think, is only about $250 because people, for whatever reason, in the Yu-Gi-Oh collectors market, the Dark Magician is less popular than the Blue Eyes White Dragon. But like the demand for Dark Magician stuff is way lower than Blue Eyes stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, great.
I'm looking up. I'm looking up what a first edition card that I had growing up that I got out of the pack.
Yeah.
And it's worth like $600.
There
and I'm just like, I remember it was the third set of Yu-Gi-Oh! It was like Magic Raiders or something. And that's when like the Toon shit was out.
Yeah,
and, Toon was like very popular. And I pulled a Blue Eyes Toon Dragon out of the pack. And I have no idea where that card.
Was it holographic?
It was holographic, yes.
Okay.
So it was the crazy secret rare like.
Okay, so when it comes to by the way, I can't believe that I know this. Anyway, when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, there's like different levels of rarity, right? So there's common, which is common. There's rare cards that have silver text. Those are kind of like they're not hard to get, but they're not they're pretty common.
They bump up the price by like
a couple
10%.
A couple cents, yeah.
A couple cents, yeah.
There are certain rares. Now here's the thing: there are certain rares that are really good because they're part of.
There's rare.
Well, so
secret rare.
There are
rare.
There are rares that are good in certain competitive decks. Those ones are really pricey. So essentially, yeah, there's common, rare. there's ultra rare, and then there's secret rare, and then as Nick said, there's a ghost rare. But here's the thing: ghost rares are like, typically speaking, ghost rares tend to be misprints. They're not created intentionally. It's not to say that they don't exist. It's just that
I've seen a few. That's about it.
Ghost rares are the equivalent of a shiny Pokemon, where you can find them, but you're gonna have to like search for it.
You mean I have to start my game 500 times to get a shiny Chimchar or whatever the hell it's called?
That's right. Anyway, so yeah, most of the time when it comes to the value of collectible trading cards, no collector will take you serious. So like, let's say that you open up your shoebox from when you were a kid, and you have a first edition holographic Charizard from the base set Pokemon. Wow, I'm a millionaire, right? Hold on there, Death Row. You got to get that stuff graded. Because if you, here's the
the edge is crimped just a tiny bit. That's like $300 off your fucking. I know,
dude. You're joking. That is,
they
are neurotic
joking,
about this.
But I'm also being serious at the same time.
You're joking, but that's like you're pretty much spot on. Grading companies are extremely critical.
There seems to be a hairline scratch on the corner of this thing. That's another $100 off.
And by the way, you have to give them permission to do what's called the bend test.
Oh, that's right.
So essentially, here I can actually show you this. Hang on. So, wait.
I always forget you have. Do you have trading cards on hand?
Oh yeah, of course.
Is that Bushido deck that I hated playing against?
No, this is my mono. This is my mono black deck. I just happen to have it in this box.
Nice, man. You've had that since middle school.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of these for a while. Yeah. So here is a. Usually this is relevant more so for Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards, but it actually works for Magic too. So here's a Magic the Gathering card, right? This is just a random card I pulled out of this black deck. So
no, don't do that. That's worth 5 cents.
Actually, yeah, this thing's worth like this is worthless anyway. It's such a bad card. Anyway, I only have it in here for shits and giggles. But anyway, so they do what's called the bend test, and what that is like counterfeit cards are made of the quality of
like a lesser quality, like cardboard.
The quality of card stock for counterfeit cards is much lower than officially printed cards. So in order to pass the bend test, a card has to be able to do this, and then be able to retain its shape afterwards. And so yeah, if the card can't pass the bend test, so yeah, these grading companies will go, long story very short, these companies will go out of their way to evaluate every microfiber. They will actually pull out a microscope and look at the individual details of every single particle of the card to assign it a value out of 10. And so this is actually very important because a card. The max score you can get is a 10 out of 10.
I just looked up how much Logic the Rapper bought his holographic Charizard from. I want you to guess how much he bought it for.
What's the grade of the card?
Let me see.
Because as I was getting to, the difference between a level 10 card and a level 5 graded card is several $1,000s. So you can have like a card that's graded a 6, and so that Charizard might be worth, let's just say, like $5,000. But if you have a level 5 graded Charizard, that one might only be worth $2,000. Like it's literally that.
He spent over $183,000 on this Charizard.
That probably means that was either an 8, 9, or 10 graded card.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Because that's kind of on the level of
that's
how,
a lot for a piece of
anyway,
cardboard.
The reason that we were even talking about this,
like a used Ferrari.
The reason we were even talking about this in the first place was to tell you that there is a market for collectible cards, especially base set Pokemon cards from the late 90s, early 2000s. And so because the collector's market was in a big like boom, the collector's market is booming right now, especially for base set cards. This created a chain reaction where people wanted to get in on the speculator bubble. So they decided, hey, I'm going to go to my local Target. I'm going to go to my local Toys R Us. I'm going to go to my GameStop because remember when GameStop used to sell games and not trading cards and merchandise? So I'm going to go to my
dank stock memes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go to my Target. I'm going to go to Toys R Us. Actually, what Toys R Us? Anyway, I'm going to go to all these different stores and I'm going
to go to the KB Toys and get some Pokemon cards.
Are they still? I don't think KB Toys is a thing anymore.
It's not a thing anymore now. Toy stores are gone. Toy stores are pretty much gone at this point.
But like, my point being, wherever you can buy Pokemon cards, whether that be on Amazon or Target or whatever, these things are being bought up like crazy. And so it's getting to the point where rabid collectors are going into Target and fighting each other. Like, and by the way, I'm not saying that they're like
actual like Tickle Me Elmo, like fight me Cabbage Patch Kids.
So there are people who are breaking into, like, I've read so much stuff about this story. There are people.
I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad.
Here's just a couple of things that I read. There are people who are waking up at 3 a.m. Get this. There are people waking up at 3 a.m. to go to the Target supply truck and break into the Target supply truck while it's docked and while they're unloading the pallets to break in and steal cards before they get into the store. There are people.
What does this world come to?
There are people who are breaking the windows.
I don't think Pokemon cards were even this like sought after, even like at the height of Pokemon. I mean, I know Pokemon's still like super popular these days, but like remember like Pokemania when like everybody was into Pokemon in the 90s? I don't even think people were into that Pokemon cards like not then.
Right.
This is crazy to me.
But yeah, so there are people who are breaking people are breaking the automatic sliding doors. There are people stealing stuff out of trucks, dude. There are people
armed robberies for Pokemon. What is this timeline? This timeline.
Dude, there are gangs of people waiting outside of Targets to jump people at gunpoint. I swear to God, there are gangs of people who are waiting to jump people at freaking gunpoint to steal their Pokemon cards.
You know what they are? They're Team Rocket.
That's what they're. Like, that's the level we're on.
And we need to call these people the Rocket Gang.
And so this has gotten so bad to the point where Target...
So long to up your Pokemon cards of mine now. Your holographic...
Also, a few months ago, this doesn't really have anything to do with the current story, but a few months ago, McDonald's did a promotion where they, like, every Happy Meal had a limited edition Pokemon card in it, right? It turns out that there were adults who were going to McDonald's and literally ordering like 40 Happy Meals.
40 Happy Meals?
Yeah, they would go inside and they'd be like, listen, I just want 40 Happy Meals. Because they
feeding a classroom?
No, dude. They didn't want the Happy Meals, dude. They wanted the card.
I know what they were doing, but like if I was that retail worker, I would just be like, are you feeding a fucking classroom? Are you feeding a school of kids you kidnapped? What the hell's going on?
Right. And so people were buying like 40 Happy Meals, and then actual kids who wanted them, like there's viral videos online of little kids going up to the counter and being like, I want a Pokemon card, and the person at the counter is like, I'm sorry, little Billy, there's no Pokemon cards.
Cleaned out. Cletus over here fucking took it all.
So
what is this timeline?
So as a result of all of this stuff, Target like has had to make an official.
The Pokemon company's just laughing all the way to the bank.
Of course they are. But yeah, so Target as a company actually released a statement on their website and on Twitter.
I read this. I was like, it can't be that bad.
They said, hey, the recent bullshit with Pokemon cards has gotten so bad that we are banning the sale of Pokemon cards in our stores.
Holy shit.
We're banning them. And by the way, apparently this is going to be a snowball effect, because they said that, yeah, by the way, not only are we banning the sale of Pokemon cards in ours, and by the way, you can still buy them online. By the way, good luck with that. They said that you can buy them online, but we're not selling them in the store. And by the way, so part of their statement also said, we are looking into potentially doing this with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, baseball cards,
Aww.
Magic the Gathering cards.
No.
If this keeps being a persistent problem, we are going to ban the sale of all trading cards from our stores.
Damn.
Like that's the level. That's the level we're on with these people,
Goddamn
dude.
Pokemon.
Like, collectors and the speculator bubble have gotten so outrageous that people are doing Breaking Bad type heists, but instead of stealing methylamine off a train, they're stealing cardboard.
They're stealing Pokemon cards.
They're stealing cardboard.
What is this timeline?
Like, listen, I understand in Breaking Bad, you know, they have to steal.
Well, they needed the methylamine.
I understand
to make
it in like Breaking Bad, they're like drug dealers, so that they need the methylamine or whatever. But like, this is cardboard. Come on, listen. As somebody, listen,
well,
there's
a really super famous quote from Napoleon Bonaparte. Said like men will die for a little piece of colored ribbon.
Listen, right? Like I love Magic.
Nerds will die.
I love Magic the Gathering cards. I even have like these are tarot cards. I have multiple decks of like just traditional playing cards. I love cards, right? I'm not gonna get up at 3 in the morning and commit a crime for cards.
No. Well, it's like it's gonna pop. Like this bubble's gonna pop eventually. Like these cards, like even like really super famous like trading cards, like they go up and down in value like crazy. Like Black Lotus, especially for Magic the Gathering.
Well, Black Lotus. Here's the thing about Black Lotus. That is almost a special. There's a certain category of cards, such as base set.
That's like the exception to the rule.
Base set Charizard and Black Lotus are kind of in their own separate category of the speculator bubble, because Black Lotus, like, you have to keep in mind with base set Charizard, they actually printed like several thousand of them. With Black Lotus, like base set Black Lotus, there is less than 1,000 of them that okay, so like when you play Magic, you get these things called long boxes. They hang on.
Oh my god. Okay. And the price is inflated like crazy for these fucking Pokemon cards.
This is not a long box, but this is basically like something about this size is what a long box is, right?
Yeah.
The amount of first edition base set Black Lotuses can fit in this box.
Whew.
That's how few of them are in existence.
Oh man.
Like, so you see all these little like deck boxes I have in here for different stuff? That is the total amount of English printed first edition Black Lotuses in the world. That's how rare they are. So
Jesus Christ.
So that's
but like these like remember when we would always like go to Target when we'd like get snacks for the movie theater and stuff like that? By the way, if you're saying like, oh, that's against the rules, everybody does it. Anyway, like I remember when.
No.
Anyway, like nope. Like as far as I know, like nobody really bought Pokemon cards and stuff like that. I didn't realize this was such a big thing.
I mean, hold up. There was Pokemon cards were a pop culture trendy thing back in the day. To say that nobody bought them,
but I'm saying like even like 10 years ago,
right?
Like when we were in our like 1920s and stuff like that, like nobody knew bought or collected Pokemon cards.
I mean,
Magic,
listen.
Yu-Gi-Oh, that's a different story.
I was gonna say, like, when I was between the ages of 19 and 25, I collected a crap ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh. That's different. I'm talking about specifically Pokemon cards. Like people would buy the games, people would watch the anime, you know, get the toys, whatever, and stuff like that.
Believe it or not, Nick,
the card game,
the TCG. Here's the thing. The TCG Pokemon's TCG has always been really popular, and has always made money. Especially,
I know it's been a huge collector's item for like a while. I seriously know 0 people that play the actual game.
No, but here's the thing, Nick. There actually is there's a very it's a niche community of people, but there are like a surprising number of people who play the official TCG. By the way, the tournament scene for the TCG is actually much bigger than I think that you assume it is. There's actually a huge
Really?
yeah. I mean, it's popular enough to the point where Nintendo hosts the World Championships every year, so somebody has to watch it, right? Honest to God,
I mean, but like,
I actually,
if you have a card game, you almost have to have like a world championship. Like, remember when we had
here's the thing,
like
though,
it was
Nick,
the Gwent championship?
right. So I don't think that Gwent and Pokemon are quite on the same level in terms of TCG.
I know, but I'm not saying they're just as popular, but I'm just saying, like, back in the day, before all this popped up, like, how many people did you know personally that actually played and or collected the card game? Almost nobody.
I knew, no, that's not true. I knew, okay.
At least I
can say from my personal sample size of people that I grew up with, that I went to middle school, high school, junior college with, I knew a lot of people who collected the cards and not necessarily played the game. However, just because I had a small sample size, that doesn't mean that people outside of my circle of influence weren't playing the TCG and playing competitively, because there was a lot of tournaments. And like to this day, there are like tons of tournaments for the Pokemon TCG. It's actually a thriving tournament scene in terms of a TCG.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, anyway, that's the story. Target.
This is where we're at in the dark future. That is the darkest timeline.
So I hope that
we're like robbing people for fucking cardboard.
So gross hoarders and speculator bubble jerkwads, I hope you're happy because you're not, because now
because of fuckers like these.
Now little kids are not going to be able to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's like, fuck, man. I've been wanting to get back into Magic and actually playing it, but now that I can't. Like, I would imagine that, like, Konami and Wizards of the Coast are pissed the fuck off.
Oh, yeah, damn right they are, dude. They're about to be on the chopping block.
Yep. Do you think there's going to be lawsuits?
No, here's the thing.
Do you think Konami and Wizards of the Coast are going to have the balls to sue the Pokemon Company?
No. I mean, well, first of all,
probably sue Target.
I was going to say, that if Konami decided to sue the Pokemon Company, that case would be dead in the water, because it's not Pokemon's fault. Now, here's the thing. You could perhaps make the argument, and by the way, this would not hold up in court. You could perhaps make the argument that because the Pokemon Company and by extension Wizards of the Coast, because they choose to create an artificial scarcity for the cards to bump up the collector's market, you could potentially make a case saying that Pokemon is indirectly responsible for this happening because of the fact that they choose to create an artificial scarcity in the product that they create. But again, that would not hold up in court.
No, probably not. But it's worth thinking about.
Oh yeah, of course.
Thinking that Konami and if they do like a class action law, I guess they would have more of a. You know what they're.
Honestly,
should do?
The only thing that they would do is if Target decides to stop selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stop selling Magic cards, then Wizards of the Coast and then Konami could, in theory, go to Target and say, "Hey, you're breaking our contract that we already signed.
Yeah.
What the hell?"
Well, I think it's going to be more of a matter where they're just maybe it's like a supply and demand thing.
And by
where
the way,
they're just not gonna buy.
There's also a market that we're not talking about, and it's because you and I like don't care about it. But just because we don't care about it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. There's actually a huge collector's market for sports cards at Target. So
that's right.
So like
they have like NFL and like NHL.
There's NFL, NHL trading cards, and while not nearly as popular or as booming as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, that's also a speculator bubble that's being screwed over by this.
We're killing each other for cardboard.
No, it is. Yeah,
this is like Mad Max.
Anyway, that's the story.
Instead of guzzling,
I just think there's no profound point. There's no greater meaning. It's just this is where we're at this point. We're stabbing each other. We're planning heists and putting each other at gunpoint for golden Charizards. Like, yeah.
It's my Mega
Lucario.
Oh god, this is just gonna be
anyway.
Terrible.
I think we're done talking about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, now
I'm getting really pissed off and sad, to be honest.
because we did it last time. We didn't stream last week, so we were supposed to do this last week, but some stuff came up. But anyway, so last time we streamed, I gave you the Colbert Questionnaire. It's a questionnaire created by it's a questionnaire created by Stephen Colbert and psychologists to evaluate a person and to expose you and make you raw. And so last time I did Nick, and so this week Nick is gonna do me.
That's right, he did.
Out of context weekly chat.
Giggity.
No,
if we have any fangirls, they're squeeing right now.
Dude,
probably not.
The day that somebody makes a doujin of me will be the greatest day of my life.
I know. That's when we made it. That's when we make some super not safe for work fan art. That's when we made it.
If somebody makes a doujin of me, I'll be like, wow, they really overvalued my whole all my assets.
Your proportions.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I dropped my monster condom from my Magnum dog.
Have you seen that meme of the "Here's your receipt, sir" meme?
No, I haven't.
So there's a meme where there's this anime girl, and she's working as a. You okay?
Stay up, damn you.
Huh? Okay.
It's not professional. I really should just duct tape the fucking thing to the wall.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's a meme. There's this anime girl, and she's like, she's working the cashier at like a grocery store, and she scans a box of Magnum condoms. And so this is like a meme template, right? So she scans the condoms, and she says, "Here's your receipt, sir. Will there be anything else?" And then like a hand goes on her shoulder, and she goes, "Ah!" And then somebody puts a meme afterwards.
Oh God.
And so there's like it's a meme template, and so some people are like, oh, like Receipt Girl, the good ending, Receipt Girl, the chaotic evil ending, Receipt Girl, the neutral ending, like Receipt Girl, the meme ending.
The meme ending. Oh man.
Wait, you should look up.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'll
Colbert Questionnaire.
All right. This is the Colbert Report.
Ba, ba, ba.
All right. I am ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready to be raw and exposed like this chicken.
All right. Question number 1. Best sandwich.
Chicken parmesan.
Ooh, that's a good choice. Question number 2. What's the one thing you own that you should really throw out?
You know what? I definitely have like way too many beanies and hats that I never wear. I got it. I have way too many beanies, hats, and jackets that I don't wear that I need to donate.
That's fair. Question number 3. What is the scariest animal?
Oh man, without a doubt, it's got to be Siberian tiger, because they are they weigh over 1,000 pounds. They have claws that can tear apart like a water buffalo. They can kill something and drag it up a tree like it's nothing, and they just terrify me.
Okay. Question number 4. Apples or oranges?
I gotta go with oranges, because oranges have way more applications. They can be juiced, they can be eaten as slices, they can be used as a garnish. Oranges, without a doubt.
Good to know. Question number 5. Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes. You were also there. We got to meet James Rolfe, the AVGN, back in the day.
Yeah.
There was a Screw Attack meetup in Arcadia at a Dave & Buster's, and we got to very briefly talk to James Rolfe. This was right before the AVGN movie came out, so it was really cool to talk to him and say, hey, good luck with the movie. And also, not really a celebrity, but this is still the coolest guy. He's still the coolest guy on the planet. I have gotten the privilege to talk to Martin Bellamy, aka Little Karibo, multiple times at conventions and get signed cards and stuff.
That's right.
He's
such a cool dude.
He's such a
like him and the Team 4-Star guys are just like some of the chillest people. Like Lanny was amazing, Taka was amazing. Meet Kaiser. I think I did meet Kaiser at one point.
But yeah,
I think it was like it was the main 3 guys.
So those 2 off the top of my head were the celebrities that I'm proud of meeting.
They're internet celebrities,
right?
They're kind of internet royalty at this point,
right. but yeah, that's my answer to the question for sure.
All right. Question number 6. What do you think happens when we die?
All right. So I have kind of a more grim look about this. As much as I'd like to believe in some form of spirituality or the afterlife, quite frankly, I just don't. I think that when we die, the memories that we have of people that we leave behind are kind of all that we have left. When you, the individual, die, I think like that's it. That's the show. You like when your brain stops functioning, when your heart stops functioning, you as a person cease to exist. Your body decays into the earth and becomes part of the soil, and that's it.
Okay. Question number 7. Favorite action movie?
Oh, Rocky 1, without a doubt.
Very good.
You know what? Actually, Rocky.
It's kind of
Rocky
more of a
1,
drama.
Rocky 1 is
Like Rocky 2 is an action
Rocky
movie.
1 is it's more of a drama, and I think as a film, it is the highest quality of the Rocky films. But as an action movie, you know what, man? I gotta take it back. Rocky 3, where Rocky Balboa fights Clubber Lang. That is a solid revenge action movie.
Yeah, that and Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is probably my favorite of the bunch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you. All right. Question number 8. Favorite smell?
Freshly ground coffee. Or
that's a good choice.
Or when you go to Whole Foods or when you go to Costco and they have loose leaf coffee. So by the way, I used to do okay. I don't do this anymore because of the pandemic. But before the pandemic, you would go to some place like Whole Foods or Costco, and they would have the loose leaf coffee. And dude, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would pop the lid off and stick my head in there and be like,
yeah.
Oh. No,
you ever see like the giant barrels of coffee? You can just dig your hands in it and like have it like gold. It's like it's mine. It's all mine.
Freshly ground coffee is
one of the greatest smells.
It is a wonderful smell.
It's one of those things where like when you smell it first thing in the morning, like the first thing you smell when you wake up, you know it's going to be a good day. But on the opposite end of that spectrum, question number 9, your least favorite smell.
All right. So my least favorite smell of all time is standing next to an open grease trap of a restaurant. So, you and I used to work at a place. I won't say the name of it. And so every like couple months, you'd have to get
Let's call it the salty spittoon.
The salty spittoon. That's good. Every couple of months, the Mr. Rooter guy would have to come and clean out the grease trap. Now, it just so happened that the grease trap of this restaurant was right in the middle of the kitchen and the back prep area. So when the guy comes and props off the lid, it releases Pandora's box, a combination of grease, oil, piss, urine, dirty water.
A lot of dirty water.
So that's
Here's how bad the smell was.
And when you open it up, that smell lasts at least like you cannot get away from that smell until you physically go outside.
I remember I had to create like a counterbalance to it. I would like burn garlic and soy sauce and mint and whatever I can find. But the smell was so bad that the neighbors next door to us in the restaurant next to us would get super pissed off because with the way that it is, like the air kind of like funnels downward and stuff like that. So they got the brunt of it. And they would always say, like, will you please
close
shut that fucking thing?
Please close that abomination.
Oh, God.
But without a doubt, an open grease trap. Standing, and by the way, so it's one thing to be 20 feet away and smell it. When you stand within earshot of the open grease trap, it's a
bad time.
When you're staring,
really bad time.
When you're staring directly down at the grease trap,
you're staring death in the face.
That is a vile smell.
Yeah, I remember one time, it was like within the first few years we were working at the Salty Spittoon, and somebody actually fell in. That was, yeah, it was terrible. Like like he was getting some water bottles. He fell in. He broke both of the water bottles on the way down. So it was basically like clunk, and then he got his shoes fucked up. So yeah, that was a bad time. He was not happy with that. All right.
Next.
Question number 10. Exercise. Worth it?
Oh, hell yeah. I would say especially if you have any kind of sedentary lifestyle or sedentary job. For example, if you work in front of a computer and you're sitting down for at least 6 hours, if you're sitting down for 4 or more hours a day, I would say that exercise is not recommended. It is required living, because I learned the hard way. I used to work at a job where I sat in front of a computer for like minimum 8 hours, and I wasn't working. So it was a 1-2 punch. I was eating bad food, because everything with every day I got a lunch break, and I would go out to the local restaurant and I would get like a burrito or some terrible food. I would either get like, and by the way, it was really good food. But
I remember this too. You were on a kick of just eating nothing but like good Mexican burritos and like burgers.
I ate a lot of burgers. I ate a lot of burritos. I ate a lot of quesadillas. I ate like garbage.
So many carbs. I
ate like garbage.
That's way too many carbs.
So when you have that type of diet and you combine it with sitting down for 8 hours, it ends badly.
That's why you always see those guys that work in offices and they just look like a plump roast.
So learn from my bad experience. Don't do that. After that job, I decided that working out was a required. So now working out is a required part of my day.
Yeah,
like
walk a mile at least once a day.
I don't end the day without having gone on a run, and without having done some sort of exercise, whether that be kettlebells or lifting or something like that.
I need to do kettlebells again. I've completely fallen by the wayside, but I walk everywhere though.
Yeah.
I walk at least 12 miles a week.
Yeah. So it's I would say that exercise is not even something that's
it should not even be part of the table. It should be made of the table. It needs to be the foundation of your life.
I'm not saying that it's optional. I'm saying that it's basically flat out required.
It's necessary. It really is. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have something else to say?
No,
that
was it.
Okay. Question number 11: flat or sparkling?
Well, here's the thing. The last several years I've been on a kick of sparkling sodas and stuff and sparkling water. La Croix. So I gotta say,
this is flat water.
That's right. So this is just this is filtered water from the water store. I think this is like reverse osmosis water or something.
It's good water.
Yeah. So like, I'm gonna say
apart from working out.
Yeah.
Drink water.
No,
Dr. Pepper.
By the way,
and Sprite.
Especially if you're any kind of like I said earlier, if you have a job where you're sitting down for like 4 to 8 hours a day, especially if you're a streamer. By the way, if you're streaming, have water, please. And it's like Nick said, you're gonna be tempted to drink a Monster Energy drink or a Bang soda or like a Red Bull. All that stuff is going to do is make you crash and burn.
3 Adderall, 1 brain cell.
All that stuff is going to do is make you crash and burn like the
you
lost.
You know what I had for breakfast?
Like the lost
Bang.
jumbo
You know what
jet.
I had for dinner? Bang. You know what I had for lunch? A felony.
So please, if you stream, if you do any kind, hell, even if you're just playing games by yourself, okay? If you're having a day off by yourself and you just want to play Fallout for like 5 hours, have some water.
Yeah.
Just do it. But I'll say sparkling. Yeah.
Sparkling? All right. Question number 12. Most used app on your phone.
So this has changed recently. I would have said YouTube a couple months ago, but now
really?
I think the most used app on my phone is probably a tie between Discord and Apple Podcasts.
Very nice.
Because
I know you've been.
I've been on a podcast.
My name is Andrew Tate. This is Let's Not Meet.
My name is Andrew Tate, and this is Let's Not Meet, a true horror podcast. Andrew Tate's gonna sue me one of these days.
He's gonna sue both of us. Oh god.
But I love Let's Not
What?
Meet. The reason I always make that joke is because Andrew. By the way, the reason I make I do that impression is because Andrew Tate has a very he has a very hypnotic voice.
So hypnotic.
He's
You-
just really good.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe. Like the cadence of the cadence of his voice and his
It is very
performance
hypnotic.
when he reads a story, he's just I don't know what else to say. He just is rock solid at narrating, and he just has this very distinct way that he tells a story, and his pacing is perfect, his timing is perfect.
It's very soothing, but it's very haunting at the same time. It is
Yeah,
perfect for that type of content.
So yeah, Andrew Tate, we love you. But yeah, I think Apple recently it might be Apple Podcast. But and here's like I used to hate the Apple Podcast app. It used to be this big. The UI used to be garbage. It used to take up too much space on my phone. I used to hate it. And so
I hate the fact that like it downloads stuff without my permission.
Yeah.
That's like one of the big ones.
Well, here's the thing. You can actually change that now. See, that's sometime between the first time that I tried it and a couple months ago, they must have gotten a lot of bad feedback because they have dramatically improved the quality of that app. And so I use it pretty much daily now.
It's good to know. All right.
Boo data.
I
Boo
lost
data.
the list. But data. Question number 13. You get to listen to one song for the rest of your life. What is it?
Can I cheat and say every version of Fly Me to the Moon?
No, you have to pick one version of it.
Ah, criminy. Okay. All right. I probably would pick the Evangelion version of Fly Me to the Moon just because I do
That
just
is the correct answer.
I like, although I do love all versions of that song because it's a bit of a love song. It's a bit of a drama. It's kind of got a lot of stuff I like. It's got it's got like a jazzy soft piano, which I'm a sucker for. It's got
Why did they take it out of the Netflix Ava?
copyright issues.
Was it copyright issues?
It was, unfortunately.
Who owns? Do you have to pay it for different versions of the song? Like, do you have to pay it to the
Yeah.
Sinatra
No,
thing, and then you have to pay it for like
I
the
think-
lady that sung?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Frank Sinatra is public domain.
Is it?
I think Frank Sinatra's entire music library is public domain, unless I'm mistaken. But anyway,
Who sang that version of "Fly Me to the Moon"?
it was a Japanese band. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But yeah, so yeah, you'd probably have to pay royalties to like you'd have to form a contract to pay royalties to them. I forget why, but essentially with the new Ava dub that's on Netflix, they had to forego a lot of contract stuff.
Yeah.
They had to like write a bunch of new contracts and get new actors and hire new talent and stuff. And so it was apparently the more that I read about it, the more that I realized that it was a giant cluster duck behind the scenes.
Yeah. Have you even watched any of the Netflix Ava?
No,
At all?
only the episode that I watched with you. I think we watched 2 episodes together.
We watched 2 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched 2 episodes together, and that's it. That's all I've seen.
Just remember, Shinji and Kaoru, just friends.
That's right, baby.
They're just really close.
They're just
friends.
They're just real good buddies.
Yeah.
Listen. It's like Sailor Moon, right?
They're just cousins, right?
Sailor Uranus and Sailor. Oh God.
I don't know.
Those 2 girls, they're just good cousins. They're cousins that like to kiss. Don't you like to kiss your cousin?
Only if you're in Alabama. Ding, ding, ding,
Sweet
ding, ding,
home
ding.
Alabama.
Alabama. All right. Question number 14. What number am I thinking of?
420.
No.
Okay. Well, what was it?
That's a good guess. 76.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Was it because of the gas station 76 or because of your favorite video game of all time, Fallout 76?
No. Lies and slander.
That stays on the record.
It was because of the gas station.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
To be fair. All right. And the final question of Colbert Questionnaire. Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Hard but worth fighting for.
Hey, that's great. And that completes the Colbert Questionnaire.
I did it.
For us two guys.
I feel raw.
If we ever get another guest on the show, we'll run through the questionnaire.
Yeah, I think next time if we get you back on the show, we'll do the Colbert Questionnaire.
I would love to have Dylan on the show again.
Get back on here, Dylan. By the way, small update since that last episode we did where we interviewed Dylan. Beer and Board Games has released their first episode of the show where they're all in the same room. I guess I'll call it the post-pandemic season.
The post-pandemic season, and they're playing one of my favorite board games, Pandemic.
Yeah, so go check that out on YouTube. They're all so unfortunately, Dylan's not in that episode, but hey, it's still a good time.
It is very good, true to form, to see all the boys around the table again. Is Faux Hobe still?
Faux Horbe?
Faux Hobo.
That's Horbe.
Is he still running?
I think his name is Adam, right?
Adam, yeah. Is Adam still running the show, or at least
I
running
think
it
so.
behind the scenes?
He's probably behind the scenes.
For sure. All right. So I want to move off to a topic that I got really excited about.
Let's do it.
HBO Max has commissioned Adult Swim to make a new Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, a new Venture Brothers movie, and a new Metalocalypse movie. I like, even more so, like, I love all these stuff, but I hope that we get the finale to the Venture Brothers that we deserve and need, especially after last season, because I was so goddamn heartbroken over the season finale of that last season. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what sort of form they take. What's your history with those 3 shows?
It really surprises me that both Metalocalypse and Venture Bros got canceled, because weren't those, so like, no offense to Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but like, I sort of get that being canceled.
Well, no, that just ended. That just ended after being it was like one of the Adult Swim's longest running shows.
Yeah, when it comes, even though I personally didn't really enjoy Venture Brothers or
you need to change that. Just trust me.
Right.
Just trust me on this one. You're gonna think like
I was never really into Metalocalypse, and I was never really into Venture Brothers, but it surprises me that both those things got canceled, because those 2 shows in particular had really hardcore cult followings.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, we are few, but we are legion. We will fight to the death.
I guess my history with all 3 of those things, real quick. I liked Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but I didn't like. I feel like some people love that show, while I just kind of like tolerated it.
It holds up a lot better than you would think. I actually watched a few episodes.
There's an episode where they build like cover your ears, children. There's an episode where they build like a dildo spaceship.
No, it wasn't a dildo spaceship. It was a literal spaceship made out of dicks.
Oh, there you go. See, that shows you how much I remember of this show. But anyway, yeah, so there's stuff like that. I like Fry's or Fry or whatever his name was. He was pretty cool.
Frylock.
Yeah.
It's good old Frylock, Meatwad, and
Metalocalypse. Like, I could tolerate Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Metalocalypse was such a show I just flat out didn't like when it was released.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I understand that it has like a certain like heavy metal aesthetic.
It was
that
one
you
of the few reasons why I listened. Yeah, it's one of the few reasons why I listen to metal today.
All of my friends in high school would always quote Dr. Roxo. I'm Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll class. And so I heard that.
Yeah, it's what
constantly.
Yeah, it's like listening to that is like Mr. Meeseeks nowadays. Like, it's just kind of like the throwaway character that they just have in there. Like, it's funny the first 2 times, but after a while it just gets old.
It's like Tao Lee from South Park. He's a character who is funny because he's a dumb character who shows up like never. Yeah. He shows up like once every 100 episodes.
And then he becomes a main character for some reason. Here we get it now.
It's the theme to Funky Town. There's that one episode where
Oh man, I
where he
know
has
it.
to he has to memorize the code to get into the facility.
Oh, yeah. You must choose between your friends, Tally. Either save them or get really, really high. You, tall.
I choose both.
You can't save them, Tally.
Oh god.
Oh wait, that's Mr. Hanky. By the way,
Yeah,
you want to talk about
where
South?
is Mr. Hanky?
You want to talk about South Park characters that got really old after a few years? See also Mr. Hanky.
Man, I haven't seen Mr. Hanky in a minute.
Yeah, but anyway, so and that I had lots of friends who loved Metalocalypse and they quoted it constantly. Our good friend Chris is like a mega fan of that show.
Oh yeah, I love the show. He loves the show.
He's like an ultra fan of that show, and I get it, right? It's like it's very over the top and it has like a certain aesthetic to it. It kind of reminds me of that what was that game that Jack Black was in, like Heavy Metal or whatever, or like
Brutal Legend?
Urban, yeah, thank you, that's the one. Brutal Legend, yeah, it's got that same aesthetic to it.
I think Metalocalypse actually came out first.
Also, this was also, you have to keep in mind that Metalocalypse came out during the era of Guitar Hero and Rock Band and stuff. So
yeah.
So I think that was part of the culture. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like everybody was pretending to be a rock star.
Yeah. There's so many plastic guitars that ended up at Goodwills across America. Apparently
those are worth good money nowadays.
So many plastic guitars ended up at the Goodwill.
I know. I had one. I have no idea where it. I think I sold it at GameStop for 2 cents.
12 cents. Yeah.
12 cents.
Whatever.
But yeah, please.
But
like,
then,
serious.
Venture Brothers is probably the only one as a 28-year-old that I would consider looking back on and being like, okay, maybe I can reevaluate this show.
Like, make me this promise.
Yeah.
Before the movie comes out, like maybe when we get a final release date and a trailer and stuff like that, watch Venture Brothers. It will change your life. It's so good.
I have to say, even though I'm not a mega fan of the show, I think the character of the Monarch is really funny. Honestly,
the Monarch is one of my favorite characters.
I think that the Monarch is way funnier. The Monarch and his wife are way better characters than the actual
Dr.
Venture
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I think they're way better characters than the Venture Brothers. Like Team Venture is like kind of boring in my opinion, and then
Team Venture's amazing.
The Monarch is really funny.
Well, like that's the thing though. Like the Monarch steals the show.
Yeah.
But like I love the shenanigans that Hank and Dean and Brock get into, and Rusty, Dr. Venture. And Dr. Venture is such the biggest sad sack, but I also feel really bad for him too.
I guess the reason that
Venture Brothers does have the most amazing side characters. You have people like Dr. Orpheus.
I do
Master of the Cosmos.
Probably one of the funnier like running bits of that show is when they have like the Monarchs like minions and like it's just them kind of talking about about the ridiculous stuff going on, like
yeah,
wait,
that's
what?
great.
What? Wait, you want us to die for what? Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, they actually get some of his henchmen actually get a lot of screen time and development. They become main characters pretty much.
Oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, like I forget his name. I think 24.
I guess
like,
I'm also really predisposed to love pathetic villain characters. So you have characters like the Monarch and characters like Jack Spicer from Shaolin Showdown. Like I sort of love
like Weasley little kid.
Weasley crap. I'm trying not to swear. So like Weasley crap head little like villains that are
little poopy heads.
Yeah, I want to say I want to say the S word, but I won't.
Dude, the Monarch has like one of the greatest character arcs in all of animation history. Like you should watch it just for the Monarch alone, but like all the other crazy crap that happens, like the weird subplots that we get that kind of, and these weird mysteries that kind of get a little bit fleshed out as the series goes on, and they actually get answered quite a bit on like One Piece, but we'll save that for another show.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about One Piece a little bit this week, but I'm angry at One Piece right now.
They keep
You know what? We're here. Let's just take a 5-minute. We're gonna get it all out. We're gonna take 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
For those who haven't read it, it's free on the Shonen Jump website right now.
But essentially, like if you're keeping up with the current manga, the climactic final battle with the Straw Hats and
And the Beast Pirates and the Wano.
The Red Scabbards and the Beast Pirates. The final climactic fight is happening on Wano right
Yeah,
now.
we're right in the middle of the fight right now.
And like I said, I talked about this in our One Piece episode, but if you know me, there's way too many characters in Wano right now, and this is a problem because when our main characters, people such as Nami and Usopp and Sanji and Chopper, Nico Robin, Frankie, characters that we actually kind of care. Like, that's not to say that the side characters and stuff in One Piece aren't good, but I mean, at the end of the day, the heart of the manga and the anime is the Straw Hat Crew. And so, if you ask me personally whether or not I would rather have development for those characters or some minor characters, I would want development for my main characters.
Yeah, it almost seems like Wano should have been its own show, but it just kind of got folded in. It's like we're watching it's like a weird kind of strange crossover like arc, but it's not actually a crossover.
So in the most current chapter of the manga, the bulk of the page, I was gonna say the screen time, the bulk of the page time is dedicated to Nami and Usopp, who are running away from Big Mom, and there's also one of the commanders of the Beast Pirates. I think her name is like Celti or whatever. What is her name?
Ulti.
Ulti, thank you. So there's this she's like a dinosaur woman, and she's I forget the name of the dinosaur that has the really hard head.
The Plebius?
Yeah, so she has an ancient Zoan devil fruit where she can like transform into a dinosaur. Basically, all you need to know is she's like super powerful.
Yeah. Well, almost all the Beast Pirates are like just crazy.
Like especially everyone in Kaido's inner circle who have ancient Zoan fruits who can like Kaido's whole thing is that like all of his commanders have like dinosaur devil fruits. And so normally Zoan devil fruits aren't that powerful compared to other types of devil fruits. But
it's just like especially like when we
ancient
get
Zoan fruits are really, really busted. And so Kaido has an entire crew.
Or especially like what are they called? Like legendary Zoans like mythical Zoans. And that's where you get shit like
the giant Buddha.
The giant Buddha and oh god, what was the other one? The little Hydra thing that Orochi has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a mythical Zoan.
But yeah, so long story short, she's like a really powerful Zoan user. And traditionally speaking, Usopp and Nami are not the most powerful members of the crew, and that's by design.
Yeah.
So
like
Oda
at the top, there's like the monster trio that is Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. And then you have what it's called the loser trio amongst the fans. The loser trio,
that's right.
Or the weakest trio.
Yeah, you have your Chopper, you have your Nami, you've got your Usopp, and they're kind of like the coward trio, right? And it's a running joke. And like, by the way, like those characters not being good at combat is it's endearing that they're not good at combat. However, that being said,
pull their weight.
However, that being said, this is a shonen series, and in the past we've had Usopp, Nami, and Chopper have their own amazing fights. Although honestly, Chopper's fights, I guess Chopper's in
more of a slugfest than anything else.
His big moment creating the vaccine that was actually pretty cool. But like
that was really cool.
But specifically talking about
he's doctoring.
Yeah, he's doctoring, as the 4Kids intro says. He's doctoring.
Have you seen? Quick little aside.
Yeah.
Have you seen the guy? It's kind of become kind of famous right now where like the guy after the whole Gilbert Gottfried thing, the guy who actually created the One Piece rap actually sort of revealed himself to the world.
What? I didn't see this. No.
I'll put it on the notepad.
Yeah. Send it to me after the show for sure. I want to see this.
Yeah.
But no, anyway,
so now,
live. So in the previous chapter before the current chapter, Oda was setting up this whole thing where Nami was going to fight Ulti and Usopp was going to be there to help.
Yeah.
And this was like
so happy.
And this is gonna be like, whoa, this is really exciting because Nami and Usopp haven't really had like definitive fights since like freaking like Ina's lobby, basically.
It's been since I
mean basically, yeah. So it'd be really cool to have them take out like a commander of Kaido's army. Like it'd be so cool. Especially since like they were setting up this whole situation where like Nami was pissed.
Dude, she was furious.
Like she was out for blood, and normally Nami's kind of like not a coward, but she knows her lane and she's not gonna fight like Godzilla, right? You know?
Yeah, she like just sort of torches the meat sacks.
She's not gonna.
around.
It's not that she's a coward. It's just that like she's a normal person with
she knows. Well, if anything, that makes her really smart because
Yeah.
like only a dumbass like Luffy or somebody would try to go fight somebody that's like way above their weight class.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's just like, fuck this.
I'm not gonna fight Godzilla. What the hell? No. Yeah, exactly. And so
I'll zap him a few times from like 2 miles away.
Usopp
but that's
and
about
Nami
it.
were setting up to fight this really cool character. And oh nope, can't have that happen because Eustace Kid has to come and save everybody. Okay, great. And so now Big Mom is gonna fight Kid, and Nami and Usopp don't get.
It's gonna be Kid.
And now Nami and Usopp don't get and Usopp and Nami they don't get to do anything now.
I want Yamato to do. I want a double team tag match between Yamato, Luffy, and Kaido.
Apparently, that's where they're hinting at something like that.
I certainly hope so.
But yeah, no, it really irritated me, and so I follow Jello Apocalypse on Twitter. By the way, great if you're not watching Jello Apocalypse on Twitter, and if you haven't seen the series that he made called Epithet Erased, go check that out. But anyway, so on Twitter he was talking about his experience reading One Piece, and he was like talking about this exact same thing. It's like why does Oda keep teasing that like, oh yeah, like the fans want the main characters to have fights and individual battles. I'll do that for them. Not.
Nah. Well, it always will boil down to like the fights that we always get hyped up are the Sanji fights, the Zoro fights,
Zoro fight
and the
every
Luffy
time,
fight.
baby.
Although, like, yeah, it really depends on the arc, but like Zoro has like arguably some of the better fights. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I'm
There's
biased.
like stuff.
I'm extremely biased. I almost always think the Zoro fight is the best one of every arc.
It is
Arguably,
so goddamn.
although, dude, it's so close. But like Luffy versus Rob Lucci is like very close.
But freaking Zoro versus Kaku was
it's
amazing.
So good. Oh man, it's so good though.
But I really liked the Sanji Jabra fight. Like,
oh yeah,
Water 7 in its lobby is like almost at the peak of One Piece. That's when it kind of like, I wouldn't say it plateaus, but it just kind of goes up. It goes up and then it just kind of
levels out.
Stays. It dips. Then you get stuff.
It levels out. It doesn't decline. It just levels out.
It sort of plateaus. It kind of like rises and then it just goes. But like, say for the anime, like the anime has been like knocking it out of the park every single time. But yeah, I was so upset because I was just like, because they're giving Nico Robin a fight,
which is so exciting! Yay! I was so excited to see that.
Frankie's finally pulling some punches.
Watch Oda pull the rug out from under us. Actually, you know what? No, Nico Robin doesn't get to fight Black Maria. Nope. Instead, Law gets to fight Black Maria. Watch him do it. Watch him do it.
Law's down in the castle right now.
Yeah. Watch Oda get my hopes up, only for them to be dashed away.
I know, but
because that's all this man does is break hearts.
He does. Dude, he made us cry. Dude, he made us cry over a fucking boat. He has no qualms about just breaking our hearts. He made us cry over a fucking boat that's on fire.
Yeah, the ending of Clan is really sad. No, the boat.
The boat.
Actually,
and for those who don't know,
no. If you have read One Piece or watched the anime, you know. When we say I cried over the boat, you know.
You know. You obviously know.
You know. But anyway,
almost every flashback to any of the characters is going to make you cry at some point.
Oh yeah. I was joking a second ago about Planet, but I actually just recently finished watching it for the first time, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
The only reason I made that joke is because I just it's fresh in my head because I just finished watching the whole series through for the first time.
The only thing, it's sad because the only thing I know is the memes. Because there are some pretty good memes, and then the ending. Like I've had the ending spoiled for me like 4 times.
I was actually very, very privileged because I didn't know the ending. And I did my best to not get it spoiled for me.
There's snow. That's all I'll say. There's snow and tears.
But like, here's the thing about the ending, though, is it's less that like, people always say, "Oh, Clannad is so sad," and it is, but it's not like. How do I say this? It earns its sad moments. It doesn't like. There are some movies that I watch, and yeah, I'm gonna pick on this. I know that you like this movie, but I'm gonna pick on it a little bit. You have movies like I'm gonna eat your pancreas or whatever that are like hashtag.
I don't like that movie at all.
I thought you liked that movie.
Oh,
Really? Okay. I thought that
I thought
you.
it was pretty.
Really?
I like the music, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't like that movie at all.
Really? Okay.
I thought it was.
You and I saw that movie back in the day.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay when we saw it, but as I stewed on it for like almost 2 years, I was like, this stuff is lame.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts exactly.
This is Shasta, Your Name / a silent voice.
Yeah. And listen, it's
like how people always complain about.
I will argue that it's unfair to compare the Pancreas to Your Name and A Silent Voice. It's unfair to make that direct comparison because they just happen to occupy the same genre. But even standing out on its own, the stuff in Pancreas is just so lame.
Yeah, it's lame. And then
the reason
that ending just kind of comes the fuck out of nowhere.
No,
I feel
it's not that it comes out of nowhere. It just feels like so like. It feels like it's trying to like.
Say not the ending, but the twist.
Yeah,
of the end.
The twist. Yeah. It feels like the movie is like going out of its way instead of organically building characters and making you feel sad for stuff that happens to them. It almost feels like a soap opera where like, oh, aren't you?
It's very much a soap opera.
It's almost begging you. It's like, aren't you sad right now? Aren't you crying? Oh, isn't the stuff that's happening on screen sad?
I'm pretty annoyed. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly, but no. The reason I bring up Pancreas is because unlike,
I remember we were talking about the Clannad ending, and you were said like it's less of a sad ending, but it's more of like a come. And that's how I felt about Pancreas.
Well, here's the thing. So it's the ending of Clannad, when especially if you know the scene that Nick and I are talking about, the snow scene. It's not that you're angry. It's just that. Especially if
it's more of a like you gotta be shitting me.
It's not even like I'm mad. It's just that the character Tomoya has gone through.
I like this
We've been with this character for 50 episodes, and he has gone through so much crap that is beyond his control, and he's dealt with it like he's dealt with it like an absolute unit, and to have this happen at the very end of the series is
snow snap like a Twix bar.
Although here's the thing, you might know that scene in the snow is not the final scene of the series.
But it's within like the first 10 minutes of the finale, right?
I don't want to say too much, but it's about halfway through the that moment actually happens at the very end of the second to last episode.
No, for sure.
Yeah. And so I won't say so. And I've seen people online talk about how the ending is completely unearned, and I argue that is nonsense. The ending is completely earned. The show has laid out its groundwork and its homework. So it's not like this. It's not like Deus Ex Machina where something just happens. This has been laid out since the events of the ending have been laid out since episode 1. So when it happens, it's not like oh wow, this is super Deus Ex Machina. No, it's not. The creators of this show and the light novel did their homework, and they laid the groundwork for this all the way back in the first couple episodes. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk around the spoilers. So yeah, I'll say Clannad's really good. Go watch it. Anyway, are we done talking?
Oh shit! That's it. That's the only meme I know.
Oh yeah, the starfish girl.
I'm not gonna say the last part of that meme because that will get us canceled pretty quick.
The girl with the birthday hat. Yeah.
Yeah, the birthday hat. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what that meme.
That character. Oh my god. That whole arc with that girl is. It made me sad, man.
Only real men cry at Clannad.
This is true.
Speaking of stuff that made us cry in fear and hatred, there's a trailer I want us to react to in the notepad.
Oh, buddy.
Yep, it's our good old boy. We're going back to Dexter's lab,
Hang on one second.
but not the real Dexter's lab. I'm talking about Dexter the serial killer.
Hang on. Let me find it. Oh, buddy. This is my...
Oh, no.
Oh, wee! Hang on a second. Let me just...
Oh, wee.
Right there. And right there.
Right there.
Hang on a
To
second.
be fair.
Right there. And right there. Alright, ready when you are.
I'm ready when you are. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Baby, you understand me now. If sometimes you see that I'm mad.
Oh, look, he looks so sad.
Even Michael C. Hall doesn't want to be here.
Oh, he's smiling. He's just like...
He's smiling through the pain.
He's smiling through the pain. Maybe this... Oh, goddamn, man. I hope that they fix... Do you think it's going to be like... They're going to hand wave the finale? It's like, oh, this was a weird coma dream that Deb had. And
Okay, all right. It's hard. It's hard to let it go. Okay, so it's if you weren't around for the phenomenon that was Dexter, essentially, if you've never seen Dexter, the show is about a serial killer named Dexter Morgan. Except by day, he works with the Miami Metro as a blood spinner analyst, and everybody loves him because he's the guy at work that everybody loves, and he gives donuts to his coworkers. He's a good neighbor. He pays his bills on time. He's the nicest guy ever, but in reality, he's a serial killer who murders bad people that he himself thinks are bad. So he's like judge, jury, and executioner, and the moral quandary of that mindset is the framework for the show.
yeah.
And so notoriously, it had a really bad ending.
Like
I
would argue that it's almost just as bad as the Game of Thrones finale.
You know what? At
Like,
least the Dexter finale is
pretty
watchable.
Like literally watchable.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Like, I'll watch it just out of sick curiosity because I gotta see how this goes.
I gotta say that the first 4 seasons of Dexter are the highlight of that show.
Oh yeah.
The first 4 seasons, the first 4 arcs, Dexter was at its prime peak, and then after...
Well, that's when the original showrunner was there, and then he left after season 4.
I'm actually a season 5 apologist. I actually think it's like...
It's not bad. It's cool to see like Colin Hanks and Edward James Olmos. A
couple years ago, I rewatched the entire series several years after it had finished premiering. So yeah, my initial reaction to watching seasons 5 through 7 was kind of like, ugh. And then I watched it again years later. Season 5 is actually pretty good. Season 6 is a mixed bag. There's some stuff I really like about it, and some stuff I really hate about it.
What season was that? What was the killer?
That was the religious killer.
Was that with Colin Hanks and Edward James Olmos?
So that whole season, Dexter is trying to find this guy who is he's killing people, and his
he's like sevening all of his victims.
Yeah, well, so he's recreating scenes from the Old Testament.
That's right.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it's a mixed bag. There's some
quick aside.
Yeah.
Can we stop giving serial killers the 7 deadly sins angle?
Yeah,
it's been done to death.
It's a little done to death for sure.
It's way too done.
Obviously, with the movie,
like we've had like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we had like the killer from 7. We've had the dude from from Dexter, and then there was another one that I can't think of. But it seems, or like, I'm sure there's like a bunch of Law and Order or CSI episodes that have like the 7 deadly sin killer is back. Oh no, what sin is he gonna commit this time?
Oh,
you know,
sloth
stuff
and
like
greed
that.
and envy. Yeah. For sure. It's a
And
little.
lust.
It's a little.
And they always pussy out on lust.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's cable TV.
It's a stock cliche for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's why I really liked True Detective.
Sure.
Because like you had no idea, like unless like I know what they're referencing in True Detective, but a lot of people that don't know, like especially the first season, like seriously, if you want to get like a great like I'll let you borrow it one of these days. I had the first 2 seasons of True Detective. The first season is great because it has Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey solving this case, and it is tremendous. It keeps you guessing the entire time.
By the way, did I tell you that I watched Mindhunters recently on Netflix?
Yeah, you told me. You told me about that a couple weeks ago.
This is kind of in the same ballpark of Dexter and True Detective. Mindhunters is really good. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on the show a couple times now. But point being is, really, I thought I did. Anyway, Mindhunters. Okay.
No, we've spoken about it out of the podcast, but not during the podcast.
Did I? Oh, did I not talk about it during the podcast? I thought I did. But anyway,
I could be wrong, though.
Mindhunters is really good. It's a show about 2 FBI agents in the 80s who basically decide to form a curriculum to kind of like a profile, like come up with like a serial killer profile, because at that point in time, nobody had ever decided to do this. Everyone was just like, a serial killer was convicted the same way that a shoplifter was convicted, right? Like it would just be like, well, you committed a crime. And so nobody ever stopped to think like, why do serial killers?
Why do they do the things that
Why do they do the things that they do? And so the whole series is about the 2 main characters going from prison to prison and interviewing like the co-ed killer and Charles Manson and Son of Sam. They interview all these really famous serial killers. And what I like about Mindhunters is that you almost never see crime actually being committed. What happens most of the time is the chilling part about Mindhunters is listening to serial killers talk about violence, like having these serial killers describe their crimes and describe their violence.
For them, I would imagine it's as easy for them as like breathing or making a sandwich or something.
And so just hearing in immaculate detail how they killed someone is almost as chilling as actually watching someone be killed.
Well, so it's kind of like 7 almost, where we don't really see the crimes being committed. We see the aftermath.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
But that makes it even worse, though.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The closest that we see is like when in 7 when they went to like that brothel or something, and then we see the guy strapped with like the strap, and you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie.
What's horrifying for me is that when you don't see it happen and you're listening to these serial killers describe their crime, you have to fill in the details in your brain, and so
it's way more horrifying.
Your brain fills in the details in a way that is
almost automatically defaults to like the worst possible thing.
Exactly. So it's almost like the show is using your these Mindhunters are using your own imagination against you, and like I've never seen a show do that. And so if you're really sick and tired of the cliche like CSI Miami, Law and Order, like Blue, if you're sick of all that like terrible police procedural shows, go watch Mindhunters. It's really good. Especially the season 2 finale, which is like,
Is Mindhunters still going on, or did they?
Well,
did Netflix cancel it? Like they cancel all their good stuff.
Here's the thing.
Netflix.
The state of
how dare you?
The state of season 3 is kind of up in the air, because at some point I guess they announced they were doing a season 3, but then they retracted that statement. So
give it to Hulu or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, but anyway, so
you cancel all the good stuff. You canceled Dark Crystal, and I'm still salty about it to this very day. You know what you did.
Oh,
you pistol whipped my emotions, and I'm pissed off. Yeah, pinky up. You know what you did.
When in doubt, pinky up. But so anyway, I want to go back to Dexter before we get too off track here. Okay, so Dexter season 7 had, and the ending of the series in general is considered by fans to be one of the worst endings in television history. And so
it definitely gives
it left a bad taste in people's mouths. Let's just say
everybody's mouth. Yeah.
So, and then the series lied dormant for like a decade, basically.
Yeah, it was a decade. Like, I remember we were living like all the way in Midtown when the finale dropped, and we were just watching it. We were just like, "That's it? That's it?"
No, yeah, exactly. I
was so mad.
So now, in 2021, we have this announcement of a very small Dexter revival. I believe it's only going to be like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a little mini series or something like that.
So, and based on the trailer, it looks like they're picking right back up where they left Dexter at the end of season 7.
Oh boy.
So my question to you, and I kind of asked this a couple weeks ago when we talked about Game of Thrones. So everyone has such a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to Dexter, and now Showtime is saying, "Hey, we got Michael C. Hall. We're the story's not over. We have one last adventure to go on." For you personally, is it too late? Is this revival too late? Is there any point in creating this sequel?
No, because at least with Dexter, it was a steady decline. Game of Thrones was like at the height, and then it just sort of, it was a very sharp decline for Game of Thrones. Like, we still watched Dexter out of like pure curiosity, as like, what's gonna happen?
Right,
and
right.
it wasn't insulting like the other ones. I mean, it was still pretty bad, but I think I'm just more curious than anything else to see how this whole thing wraps up.
They did.
I think this is like, if you're gonna do a chance to redeem yourself, this is the way to do it.
Right. Here's my thing. If Michael C. Hall is back and they get some of the other original actors,
I miss that guy.
like they better have Masuka back. That's all I'm saying. If Masuka is not in this reboot, why would you even bother?
What about Batista?
Oh, okay, fine. I like him too. But Masuka though.
Masuka though. Oh god.
Man. But in all seriousness, if there's a director who's passionate about it, and they have Michael C. Hall back, and they have some of the original characters from the last couple seasons, if they're back in on board,
if they have the ghost of Dokes, I'll be happy as shit.
Oh yeah, baby, the ghost of Dokes.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
The dark passenger. Also, I don't even care if it's for a flashback. We need more Deb.
Yeah, right. Well,
even if it's for a flashback, I don't care.
Like, I don't want to say too much because it will be a huge spoiler, but I don't know how they're going to write Deb into the show.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a flashback.
Yeah, it's going to be a flashback for sure.
Or his dark passengers morphs from his dad to Deb.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you go for that angle, right?
You would have to at this point, but instead of like Deb's like kind of like Dexter's Jiminy Cricket, if you will, just bitching at him on his shoulders. It's like, you're a dumbass.
Hey, dumbass! Don't trust that fox.
Oh God, that's so many. All right.
But yeah, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. We should watch it together.
This is
just
true.
For shits and
we
bibbles.
should watch it, and then, like, here's the thing. Well, whenever it comes out, we'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
Welcome to the basement. Oh God. All right. What else do we? Oh, since we talked about a bad show that ended poorly, let's talk about a great show that ended terrifically. I want to talk about Invincible.
Oh yeah, Invincible. Okay. Well, so
you can't just show up on Amazon Prime and then steal our hearts. Think, Pat. Think.
That's right. Yes.
Oh wait, I gotta do this for the thumbnail.
Think. Oh, there you go. That's it. Oh, that's so good. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so good. I love it. Thank you. Should I?
Yes.
Hang on a second. Okay.
I think that's good.
Hang on. Maybe zoom in.
I got it at an hour 49 minutes.
God, I don't know. Stupid. Okay.
I love it.
But yeah,
God.
so yeah, thankfully Invincible is not over, just the first season ended.
It's the first season's over, but
Yeah,
that ending though. That ending.
Okay, so
It's very,
because hold on. First things first. Because Invincible is pretty recent, and this episode will go up pretty shortly after Invincible premiered. This is going to be spoiler warning for Invincible season 1.
very heavy spoilers
Although,
for the
at this
entire
point-
season.
At this point, you've probably been spoiled on Twitter about certain things, but like, fair warning.
That meme's been circling around.
Fair
God
warning
knows
though.
how.
So just giving you a warning. So my advice to you, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Invincible and you like, if you like superhero shows and you want kind of a remake, if you like a show like The Boys but wish it was like a little smarter and not quite as like bro douchebaggy, then yeah, go
But
check
if
out
you
Invincible.
also like the violence, because it's actually no, it is more violent
yeah, it
than
is.
The Boys.
No, it is
It
for
is
sure.
way more. It is way more violent than The Boys.
If you like the idea of The Boys but like wish it was less bro douchebaggy, then yeah, go check out Invincible.
It's kind of, would you say it's kind of like My Hero meets The Boys, but good?
I don't know about that. I think it's its own thing.
That's
Honestly, the thing that I would probably more closely compare it to would be Young Justice.
Yeah,
I would say that if you really like Young Justice and you want like an M-rated version of that, go check out Invincible.
Yeah, but Invincible, holy crap, that came the hell out of nowhere.
This show, I remember.
For those who don't know, it's made by the same guy that created The Walking Dead, the comic at least, and a few other people too. But like Robert Kirkman is the one.
Coral, we need to fight, Coral.
I don't want to anymore, Dad. I'm tired.
Isn't Carl dead?
He is in the show.
Oh, okay,
Spoiler.
okay.
I think he's still alive in the comics.
Right.
I don't know. The comics just ended.
Oh, okay.
So I can't attest to it. But yeah.
I wonder if there's somebody out there that's legitimately angry, like, man, they spoiled The Walking Dead for me. Crap.
Great. We pissed off all 5 of you because that's all who's left watching the show.
Oh, Nick, stop! You can't just roast 5 people like that.
And I do it again. Anyway, Invincible.
Yes.
It's kind of like it's sort of like I would say it's a coming of age story.
Yeah. What? Here's the thing about Invincible and why
it's a little bit.
Okay. I think that Invincible had really good marketing. And here's what I mean by that.
It's got that Bezos advertising on it.
Well, what happened is I remember watching YouTube and I kept seeing this I kept seeing this small trailer for this Invincible show, and it looked
kind of weak.
It looked like every dime a dozen cartoon superhero show. I'm like,
but that's on purpose, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, you look at
they lead you in.
You
with
look
this
at the trailer.
Of,
you look at the trailer, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be some stupid.
Like, come on in. It's gonna be a lighthearted romp.
This is gonna be some carbon copy,
family and finding yourself.
Yeah, this is gonna be some sky high. Let's all hold hands and be friendly kind of superhero show. And then, but here's the thing: the first couple episodes actually point in that direction. And
a little. Well, I would argue that the first. Like the ending of the first episode,
right? That's when the
really tries to show its true colors. That's when the veil is lifted a little bit. It's not lifted all the way.
It's almost a Cabin in the Woods type situation where the marketing for Cabin in the Woods made it look like a really dumb cliche horror movie, and it like lulls you in with this false sense of security. Like, oh yeah, we're just another dumb dime a dozen horror movie. Come watch us, and then it grabs you by the throat and is like, haha, got you.
Gotcha, bitch.
And so Invincible kind of does the same thing where it's like, oh, look at us. we're just another superhero cartoon. Come watch us. And it's like, oh, okay, all right. They've got a guy who's Batman, and they got a guy who's Superman, and they got a guy who's Aquaman. We're gonna do this whole song and dance over again, and we're gonna we're gonna do this whole, and then
the end of first episode 1 happens,
and you're like, oh, what I like about Invincible is that it's definitely a show. I'm not gonna say a realistic superhero show, but it's kind of like a refreshing take on what superheroes actually would do in a society.
Yeah,
where
we are living in a society.
Like what I like about it is that there are like some of the, like, for example, there's a character who's there's a girl who has like the ability to fly and like manipulate matter and stuff. That's her superpower, and and she's a high school kid, and her parents really don't like the fact that she's a superhero.
No, even she gets disenfranchised by the whole thing,
right?
Kind of, and so during the show.
And you expect it to be this whole thing where like, oh, she's gonna find herself and she's gonna become a superhero, and it's like, no, not really. She kind of, she sort of begrudgingly joins back up with some of the other teams and stuff later. But actually, one of my favorite moments of Invincible is there's a subplot involving there's a villain guy who can like turn, he's basically like an enforcer for like a gang boss, and he's basically Luke Cage, but like he's able to like form concrete over him. He's like this he's sort of this evil gang enforcer Luke Cage guy, and so he has like a hard the show leads you to believe, but like even though he's a
gangster with a heart of gold.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's this whole plot about how oh god, his name is Grayson, right? Invincible's real name is
Mark Grayson.
Mark Grayson. So there's this whole plot where, so up until this point, Mark had only done all this like Superman type superhero stuff. Oh, I saved the world from a meteor, and like, oh, I defeated a dinosaur, and like, oh, I defeated space aliens, and like all this like fantastic superhero stuff. And this enforcer guy talks to him and is like, dude, like, while you're going and doing all that like fantastic pulpy science fiction stuff, people down on Earth are actually dying in ghettos and like can't find jobs and like kill each other for drugs.
Or they're being like crushed to death by like buildings and like alien invasions.
While you're off doing all this like fantastic fantasy stuff, the real world is still happening.
Yeah, this ain't like the Avengers when they're like everybody's just blocking shots and we're not seeing civilians die. I mean, like, I know it's like Disney or Marvel or whatever.
Right.
They're not really going to show that, but like you see that in Invincible, and it's horrifying, and it's just as horrifying as you think it is.
Well, so in like so Man of Steel, for example, right? Everyone got really like their eyes popped out of their sockets when they saw Superman basically commit like 9/11 times 100. And that's a quote from Lindsay Ellis. I did not make that up. 9/11.
That sounds like a Lindsay Ellis quote.
Yeah.
9/11 times 11.
9/11 times 100. But no, yeah. So in Man of Steel, basically Superman commits like 100 9/11s, and everyone's horrified by this. But yeah, in Invincible, that's just kind of like what happens. Like every time that there's an alien invasion or Godzilla or Cthulhu, people die, and entire cities are torn apart, and they do not spare you the graphic details on
they show you
fatalities,
every single bloody detail that they can muster, including
some graphic AF stuff that happens at the finale that I won't get into.
Yeah, like I don't want to spoil that, but like, you know, like I can only speak for myself, but I think I can speak on both of us at least. We're like, you and I are pretty jaded towards violence. Like we watch violent movies, we watch violent anime. Like we're not strangers to violence. Like we watch like Clockwork Orange and like Full Metal Jacket and like a bunch of other like Berserk, or like at least we read Berserk. And like we're pretty jaded when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
But Invincible is one of the only few times when I curl up a little bit. I'm just like, oh god, this is horrible. It's awesome, but it's horrible.
Yeah,
It's where I go like, oh Jesus Christ.
there is some violence in this show that is borderline like, dude, like it almost approaches like the Deer Hunter levels of like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, this is just. Yeah, like there was this one like during the finale. There's I don't want to say what happens,
The
but
infamous subway scene.
the subway scene, yeah, because usually like. At least in superhero iconography, the subway scene is supposed to like it happens in like The Incredibles and Spider-Man 2 and a bunch of other stuff where like
Black Panther.
they're like trying Black Panther too. And like they're trying to save everybody and trying like it's kind of like a defining moment and then it kind of turns its head on where it's like it's one of the most horrifying things you'll see.
Yeah.
One of the most horrifying things I've seen all year. And I'm just like, oh.
Step aside, Gantz. You no longer have the most violent subway scene in animated history.
God, was there another one?
No, that was. Listen, I was just making a joke at Gantz's expense because that's what I do.
Yeah, we love. Just for the record, we love Gantz on this show.
I love Gantz in like a nostalgia. Like, I will fully admit that Gantz the anime and manga is like extremely childish and extremely like.
Yeah.
It's like the kind of manga that you read when you're a teenager, and like it's like trying to pretend to be adult. Even it's like trying to be adult for teenagers.
It's so kiddish.
It's like,
although ironically, my favorite Gantz thing of all time was Gantz Abridged.
Oh sure. And I love Gantz from like a nostalgic point of view. I will fully admit to you that Gantz the anime and Gantz the manga is like kind of bad, but like it's bad with redeeming qualities. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's cool to look at. Like a lot of the designs that they have are awesome.
Yeah. It's good.
But the story and then the stuff that happens even in the finale, it's just a little.
From a critical standpoint, Gantz the anime and manga. By the way, the anime and manga of Gantz are kind of two different can of worms.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the anime I have kind of a nostalgic love for, even though I will admit to you that first of all,
quick, I can't stop it.
First of all, the dub of the Gantz anime is horrendous. Like it's not just
bad.
It's not bad. It's heinous. It is awful.
Was it who dubbed over it? It was Gonzo that animated it.
Yeah, I'm
was
not
it
sure.
ADV?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it was ADV.
But yeah, like even so, it's one of those shows where even though it is awful, I still kind of love it because of how over the top and violent it is.
Remember when we thought that this was the peak of violence that we would see in our lives?
I had seen other violent things, but yeah, sure.
I know, but like back in the day, we thought like, oh, it can't get any worse than this. This is the
I'll
most
tell you
violent
what,
thing I've ever
this
seen.
is my frame of reference when it came to not violence, but I remember when Rosario Vampire and 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 were premiering back in the day. And I remember being...
Was 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 the ones with the sodas?
Yeah, so the whole point of 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 was that like there was this guy who could... Also Camphor was kind of in that same ballpark. So 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 was the anime where like the girls could like turn into soda cans, and when the main character drank them, they like became real, and like it was almost the equivalent of like, oh, like...
Forgot about that. Holy crap.
And so I remember back in the day thinking like, oh god, like Rosario Vampire and 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 and Camphor, this is so lewd. I can't believe it. It can't get any lewder than this. And then cut to 2021, and it's like, redo of Healer, motherfucker. It's like, Jesus Christ. Rosario Vampire might as well be none.
Redo of a Healer made me violently ill. I felt ashamed.
Compared to redo of a Healer, Rosario Vampire is nuns.
It might as well be
nuns in a church.
Yeah, it might as well be the VeggieTales equivalent of this. Jesus Christ.
Rosario, like the amount of lewd and sexual content in Rosario Vampire, you might as well compare it to nuns in a church compared to Redo of Healer. Christ.
I felt ashamed to know myself. I was like, this. I felt disappointed with myself. I felt ashamed.
Well, here's the thing.
Disgusted.
So I don't want to talk about Redo any longer than I physically have to, but I will say one thing though. I remember when the manga came out and they announced that there was gonna be an animated version, And I remember that there were certain types of Redditors and people on Twitter. I'm not going to say who, but I'll leave that to your imagination. There were certain people on.
Do they have beards
no,
of
no,
the
no, no,
neck
no, no,
variety?
no, 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 no. I'm not saying anything. But there were certain people on Reddit and on Twitter who basically said something to the effect of, "Man, oh man, when Redo a Healer, all the SJWs think that current anime is bad. Wait until Redo a Healer comes out. They're gonna jizz all over their soy latte and their skinny jeans. Man, oh man."
Oh, gross.
But here's the thing. When
gross.
you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
But like, they're all gonna poop their Pampers and all this stuff. But here's the thing: as a self-prescribed like SJW or whatever the fuck people on Reddit want to call me these days, when I saw Redo of Healer, I wasn't really offended because Redo of Healer is not an anime; it's a hentai.
It really is.
And listen, I'm not saying that to be facetious. It's not an anime. There is a clear.
It was what was that other one that came out that made a lot of waves?
Okay,
it was
listen. So like,
Interspecies Reviewer.
Here's the thing: you could actually make the argument that the censored version of Interspecies Reviewers borderlines on ecchi. It walks up to the border, but like it's not.
It has its pinky toe on the line, dude.
Well, here's the censored version of Interspecies Reviewers actually is like you can actually show it and it's not like that bad. Now the uncensored version, that's a whole different thing. But the censored version, you actually could make an argument that it's not like that. It doesn't cross the hentai threshold. But Redo of Healer, on the other hand, there is no threshold there. Yeah. And listen, again, I'm not being facetious. It is a hentai. It's drawn like a hentai. It's animated like a hentai. It's got a hentai plot.
It really does.
It's a hentai. Like I'm not joking, and I'm not being facetious. Yes, right there. This is what
one of my favorite things that I love it. Quick aside, I love it because you and I know where that shirt comes from.
Yes,
indeed. But a lot of other people don't. And one of my favorite things is when you wear that out in public and then people walk up to you and say, "That's a really nice shirt. Where'd you get it from?"
Oh, Grandma, please don't listen to this.
Oh, please.
Like a couple months ago, I was wearing this shirt. I went to go help my grandmother out at her house. She needed some help moving some boxes and changing light bulbs and stuff. And I wore this shirt, and like halfway through the day, I realized like, oh no, I'm wearing my meme shirt. But like it's fine. And so my grandmother, like we take a break for lunch, and she says, "Your shirt," and I'm like, "Oh no. She's like, "That's cute. I like that little guy."
But also, like, if you're in the know, people also walk up to you. It's like, "Hey, nice shirt," and just walk away.
See, that's why this shirt is brilliant, because I can wear it out in public like a normie, and like, dude, so many people love this shirt. They're like, so many normies are like, "Oh man, that's a great rooster." That's a great chicken, bro.
That's a great chicken with a tie on it. What's it called? Chicken tie?
Isn't he handsome? Look at how handsome he is.
Looks very dashing and proper.
Little guy right here. But yeah, see, that's why the shirt is funny, because I can wear it out with the normies, but then the people who get it, they get it.
They just give you like a sign of respect. They just sort of like give you the nice shirt.
Nice shirt. It's like I knew this kid at junior college. I guess I should say I didn't know him. I would run into him. I would run across him in the hallways at school every once in a while, and he would always wear a Faku shirt. And so one time he was talking to some girl, and I was passing him in the hallway, and I wasn't even gonna say anything. But as soon as he walked up to me, I just kind of looked at him directly in the eyes and said, like, "Nice shirt, bro." And I walked past him. And he kind of gave me this, like, thanks.
Because you know damn well where that shirt came from.
Because if you don't know, now you know.
Man. Oh, man.
What were we even talking about?
We were talking about Invincible.
Right, Invincible. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. It's good.
No, no,
So we
it
got
is. It's real good.
Yeah.
The memes are good. The show
Well,
itself
it's like
is pretty good.
one thing that I think it does really well that a lot of other like a lot of other superhero stories try to tell is this is going to be a huge spoiler, but it's you literally find out in episode 1.
We warned you about spoilers.
We warned you about spoilers. So spoiler. I'm going to give you a chance to click off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. A lot of other like stories try to tell the evil Superman story, and they don't really nail it all that well. You get stuff like Brightburn, which is basically
hey Brightburn. Remember that time that you sucked as a film? I was gonna say Brightburn.
Well, it's like
you beat me to it. I was gonna dunk on Brightburn.
But you'll have stuff like evil Superman, and like a lot of other people, like they just don't really, because Brightburn was basically Damien from The Omen if he was Superman.
Also, there's that guy from the Boys, the evil. He's like Captain America.
Homelander.
Yeah, and he's so like. One of the things that really irritated me about The Boys is that he's so obviously like a dick, and like he's just like transparent about it. Like, I just was like, there's no subtlety to this character, you know?
No, like there's like the public face of Homelander, and then there's like what we see where he actually is mentally.
Yeah,
and he's just a mess of a human being. Invincible Omni-Man does the evil Superman correctly. Like
J.K. Simmons does a lot of lifting. And by the way, that's not to say that the character is bad, but
no, the whole cast is let it be aside.
Yeah.
The cast for this is amazing. You have Stephen Yeun, who is a part of The Walking Dead, obviously. There's Sandra Oh,
and also
J.K. Simmons.
He was in Korra.
He was in Korra.
Korra.
Oh, somebody's messaging me. Yeah, I can't do it right now. Anyway, but yeah, like they do the evil Superman shtick really, really, really well. Oh man.
The only subplot in Invincible that like mildly irritates me, and like I get why in universe they had to do it, but like it still is like. So there's a minor character in Invincible who is like a reference to Hellboy, and so there's like a demon on Earth.
Damien Darkblood.
Yeah, so there's like a demon guy, and he's a detective, and so he has like demon magic, and so his whole thing is that he has to get repentance on Earth by solving crimes and helping people. So when the Justice Friends are completely shreked.
The Justice.
What are they called? They're not called the Justice League.
Guardians of the Globe.
Oh yeah, the
Guardians of the Globe.
Right. So when the Guardians of the Globe are shreked, he starts.
And they get shreked.
He starts to do an investigation.
I guess you could say that the hips stop coming and the hips stop.
So he pretty much finds out right away that Omni-Man did this. And so there's a character in the series called Cecil who's basically like the Nick Fury of Invincible. And like this is what I don't understand. Cecil was trying to get proof that Omni-Man killed all the Justice Friends. I'm gonna keep calling them that. I'm sorry. He wanted
the super acquaintances.
The team of super acquaintance. Yeah, exactly.
With multiplication man.
multiplication man. With the ability to create an exact copy of himself at the price of the original dying shortly afterwards. I love you.
Which is really funny because there's a character like that in Invincible called Multiplicate?
Multiplicate. Yeah. It's like Multiplicate or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, I love Quentin reviews. Multiplication man. No, but anyway, yeah. So there's a character named Cecil who's like the Nick Fury, and so he figures out right away that the demon detective guy knows about Omni-Man, and instead of being like, hey, can we share information so that we can like definitively know that Omni-Man is the killer?
Yeah, he banishes him to the Shadow Realm.
He crosses him into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, it was hell. I know that, but still, I like saying the Shadow Realm.
Oh no, Nick, no, listen, it's Yu-Gi-Oh tradition. If you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, you have to call it the Shadow Realm.
He was talking shit, man.
No, but yeah. So instead of like cooperating on an investigation and getting evidence and doing all this stuff, Cecil is like, I have to banish you to hell, demon detective, because you might reveal the truth to the public. But like, just tell him, just be honest and just say, hey, if you release this information to the public, Omni-Man's gonna go on a killing spree, so I need you to keep this on the like, if Cecil had just talked to the demon detective guy, they could have worked together and they could have done stuff. But no, Cecil has to do this whole thing where he's like,
maybe that's part of Cecil's plan where he's gonna bring it out at the. I mean, I guess he wouldn't really need Damien Darkblood anymore since like the truth is out about Omni-Man at the end of the show.
Right.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, we know what his true colors and where his true allegiances lie in the show at the very end of the season 1. Oh man,
that's like the one. That's the one minor thing. I just
it is a little weird, but I get the feeling that like Cecil is
who's
trying
my
to
favorite
pull,
character. They're a duo. The Clone Brothers.
The Clone Brothers.
So like, there are these two dudes who are basically like the Incredible Hulk, except like they're sort of like actually, now that I think about it, it's just like the Incredible Hulk. There are these two dudes, and they're these big, gigantic, like meathead. They're almost like Juggernaut from the X-Men. But imagine if Juggernaut from the X-Men had an IQ of like 200. Imagine
if you bit like Juggernaut. It's basically like weird hybrid Banner in Endgame.
Yeah, and so like they're kind of
just, instead of like gamma radiation, he's just an expert in like genetic engineering and cloning.
They're both minor characters, but the ongoing joke is that so there's two of them, and each one of them thinks that the other is a clone.
It's the clone.
It's like I'm the original, and you're a clone, so of course you wouldn't know about any of that. And the other one is like, that's just what a clone would say.
Clone would say. That was pretty great.
They have this banter where like they both think that they're the original.
Even though I'm pretty sure they're both clones.
Yeah,
both of them are definitely clones.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
But that's what it's like it's trying to solve like a weird logic puzzle or something like that. It's like, you would think that I think that, but you would know that I think that. Clone.
The character Robot is pretty cool because he's gonna be secretly evil. Watch this.
You think so?
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. I think he's
that was pretty brutal when we found out what he actually looks like, and he looks like Basket Case almost. He's just like, kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It was funny because we had just seen a character like that in Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a guy who basically has that exact same type of character who like he's a crippled guy and he controls a robot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mecha Maru, I think his name was. That was pretty cool. I love how the only thing he could do during the baseball game was just pitch.
That's great.
That was fantastic.
I love that he's like a pitching machine. Yeah, great.
I love how like it's not even him. They just like scribble on his stuff.
We can actually talk about Jujutsu Kaisen in a second, but do you have any final thoughts on Invincible? I'm excited for season 2. I'll definitely check it out.
I want to read the books so badly, but Amazon, restock your stuff. Print more of those damn books so I can buy them.
Yeah.
I'm like frothing.
Oh, actually, before I forget, we'll talk about Jujutsu Kaisen in a second, but very briefly, do you want to talk about Love, Death, Robots season 2?
Yes, Love, Death, Robots and Castlevania season 4.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We should talk about Castlevania and both those things very quickly.
Yeah. Castlevania 4, there are some very great fight scenes, but it's kind of weird because
spoilers,
almost
obviously.
everybody... spoilers. Everybody gets a happy ending. Like, everybody. I don't want to say who specifically gets a happy ending.
I thought that it was okay. I thought that the ending was fine. I get the sense that they were kind of told, like, yeah, all right, guys, wrap it up. Come on, we got other stuff to do.
Do you think it was because of Blood of Zeus?
I certainly hope not, because that series is mediocre as hell.
Mediocre.
Okay. That's not fair.
Was it the same guy that did Castlevania and Blood of Zeus? I know it's the same studio.
Studio Power, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not to say that like
the same show.
No, I don't think so. The thing about Blood of Zeus is that artistically it's a beautiful show, but the plot is just paper thin. And so I hope that they make a season 2 of that, and I hope that it turns out better. But yeah, season 1 did not leave me very impressed. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, Castlevania.
Here.
Isaac versus Camilla was
You know
super
what,
good.
I was just like, I couldn't look away. I was just like, I was hypnotized.
I'm a little irritated that after the fight, Isaac basically drops out of the series.
Yeah, Isaac and Hector just completely just sort of piss off.
Which is really.
I wonder if they're gonna be like, because they're gonna do like the Devil May Cry show. So I wonder if they're gonna work some of that into it. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, like what irritates me is that the better part of seasons 2 and 3 was spent building up characters like Camilla, Isaac, Hector, like
and sisters,
Lenore. Like you had this
Lenore.
Jesus Christ! Oh God, I love the character of Lenore. Oh my God, Jesus.
Is she like it's like she's amazing, but like I don't know how they designed such an amazing character, because not only is she beautiful, she's like a really great character too. Like,
right, no, it's not just that her character model is beautiful, although yeah, she actually has a really good definitive character. Like, it's weird because Lenore is a vampire who doesn't really kill and fight things. Like,
no, not at all.
Her whole thing is being duplicitous and being kind of like a master manipulator. She doesn't really like murder. Well, I guess she kind of does, but like, she not directly. She prefers to work indirectly.
Yeah, it's almost like instead of being in like Blade, like how everybody else is. She's really more like the Vampire Masquerade, sort of like diplomacy and like all this other stuff. Like,
I am a master. By the way, you can play a small drinking game in season 4 every time that Lenore says, "I am a master of. There is no need for diplomacy in Camilla's plan." You take a drink.
Oh God! Anytime they say "fuck you've already," take a shot.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. But no,
anytime Trevor gets some random doodad out of a pile of gold,
I know
take a shot.
every single part of season 4. Huh? Oh, hey, in this pile of garbage, it's like this ancient ceremonial dagger. Oh, hey, look at this little gem that I can put in the ceremonial dagger. Oh, look at this. This is an ancient vampire slaying cross weapon. Like, wow, that sure is convenient. Every 10 minutes, he's digging through a pile of garbage. Oh, look at this. It's a vampire killer.
Oh, what's a good one for
really,
Alucard?
really?
Every time Alucard is just sad and lonely, take a drink.
Alucard's character arc was really disappointing this season. I wanted him to, I don't know.
I wanted him to fight against his dad.
Like,
or death or somebody.
I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what you could have done with Alucard.
I know he's on like his great like redeeming, like, oh, like maybe I am more human than I realize,
right,
you know, stuff like that.
I like the idea that he built a village outside of the castle. That's cool.
Although 𝐈𝐲 was really on point.
𝐈𝐲 was really good. 𝐈𝐲's been good from the first season to the last season.
Yeah, she's been really, really consistent.
I love that during the first couple episodes of season 4, like Trevor and 𝐈𝐲 do couples counseling while murdering ghouls. See, I used to never say the word fuck, and you turned me into someone who says the word shit.
Don't call me Trevor. Don't call the kid Trevor.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they're such a cute couple.
They have they're cute. I like them. I like their chemistry. Yeah. So I know that we already gave a spoiler warning, but like for real, I'm gonna spoil like the very end. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The reveal of
Kono Weebada says, "Yo, hello."
Hello. The reveal of the final villain. Admittedly, it's a good reveal, but it comes out of fucking nowhere. Like they give it
that I think it does. There's
a tiny there's one scene where they go up to a tapestry and say, "Oh look, that's death." Okay, and like that's it.
Weird.
Yeah, like yeah, and then that's the big reveal. Like also, I know that at the end of the series you have to give Trevor like a big one-on-one like dramatic fight, but why the hell do 𝐈𝐲 and Alucard just like back off? Like Oh,
It's like they can fucking
of course they
fly.
can fight. Yeah, like, hey, bro, you know how this entire series has been us coming together and working together as a team? You got this. You got this one.
Gonna back off and give you. It's like you guys can fly. Why are you guys like? Oh my god.
Hey,
It's
listen, Trevor. As arguably the weakest member of our party, you got this.
fine. He can hold his own. He's a Belmont.
Hey, Sypha, you know how you can shoot like electricity and do all sorts of useful
Fire
stuff?
and ice, and then base.
Alucard, you know how you have
Flash.
you know how you have a magic sword and like super speed? Could you maybe help me out for 5 minutes with the
at
god
least
of
give-
death?
Or at least give me that sweet ass shield that you have, so I'm not getting nuked to death.
The shield was cool.
The shield was pretty cool. I think that's actually in Symphony of the Night.
Oh, by the way, did you notice there's like I think it's like the second, I think it might be the second to last episode, where Alucard does the pose on the cover of Symphony of the Night?
Yeah,
That was
awesome.
that was a nice touch. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I wish that they had played some of the music from Castlevania.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Da, da,
stuff like that.
da, 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 da. Yeah, that song.
Da-da-da. Now. Well, now.
But no, like I'm happy that it's over, and I'm happy that it wrapped up nicely.
Also, Saint Germain just turns on a dime.
Yeah, see, that was actually one of the only good twists I liked about season 4 was this the fact that the lady in the corridor was deaf. That was actually really good. Like she was a puppet master and she played him like a fiddle. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
That was actually really
that
smart.
was pretty cool. Although I will say, like that thing that we're trying to create was horrifying.
Well, like they hype up. That's one thing that really irritates me about season 4 is they spend so much time talking about, oh, Dracula's gonna get resurrected. Dracula's gonna get resurrected. We're gonna resurrect Dracula, and then, oh, well, he's dead now.
Or is he?
But yeah, it's so like. I thought that because you know how in like all the Castlevania games, how Dracula, like when you fight Dracula,
He almost always comes back.
yeah, he comes back as like a devil, right? He basically comes back as like Satan. I was waiting for something along those lines, or I don't know, something like
but
that.
it's weird because he gets a happy ending with his wife.
Yeah, that's.
Which is weird. And it's like, oh, are we gonna go back to the castle? No, let's go fuck off in England somewhere.
You could
I don't
make
know.
the argument that the ending scene with Dracula and his wife is a proper.
It's sweet.
Well, no, it's sweet, but like you could make the argument that it's a proper bookend to the series because the very beginning of Castlevania is the tragic romance of these two characters, and the final scene of the final episode is now like we've come full circle.
That's true.
But like,
No,
yeah, it's still kind of like
it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't piss me off. I even
No, it doesn't.
like
Yeah.
it just fine. But considering how dark and menacing everything was for the whole series, I thought it was good. I guess I was just expecting it to be a little darker or like
seasons
sort of bittersweet.
Seasons 2 and 3 are the highlight of the series for me. I think season 1 is okay, and I think season 4 is like just fine. But they don't excel. Like I feel the stuff with Camilla and Hector and like the vampire like
That felt like it should have been its own show.
well, like it just
Or
felt
like if they were to spin
it just
off,
felt
they would
so
have
bad to have these characters. And by the way, I really liked all those secondary characters, like characters like Isaac and Hector and Camilla and like all that stuff, like the B plot stuff. I actually thought that stuff was more interesting than the A plot stuff most of the time.
Yeah. Also, you can totally hell. By the way, do you like Berserk?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Because it's gonna be because it pisses me off that we get what I expected the Berserk anime to be, and then we actually get the official stuff.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the scene with the vampire general where she wears the Daybreaker armor or whatever?
Yes.
That's actually really
yes.
cool. There's a scene where one of the vampires they have like a base camp set up away from the castle, and the human farmers come during the morning to go kill all the vampires. And it's because they figure, during the sunrise, the vampires will be at their absolute most vulnerable. but one of the vampire generals has this suit of armor that allows her to walk around during the daytime and kill people.
Yeah, it's like, why don't all the vampires just have that and just take over the
Maybe
world?
it's
I
like
guess
maybe it's really hard to make. Like,
maybe. And it's also going to be one thing where it's like one shot and you're probably dead. Like if any of the sun, or maybe it'll just burn you a lot or something.
yeah.
Or I don't know if like if a little bit of sunlight, it's like dipping your pinky in acid, or is it going to be like, oh, and you're dead?
All right. So we're gonna wrap up the show by talking about Love, Death, and Robots season 2, and that will be the end. And that will be the end of the show. Normally we would do some Never Have I Ever questions, but unfortunately we're kind of running out of time this week. I'll tell you what. Why don't we start next episode with some Never Have I Ever questions?
I can do that.
Yeah, we'll start next week doing that, and then that'll give us time to talk about Love, Death, and Robots right now.
Yeah. So, Love, Death, and Robots season 2 finally came out. There was only like 8 episodes.
Yeah, that was a little sad.
It was a little sad, but some of the stuff that we got was really, really good. What was your favorite segment or your favorite?
I know that it was honestly the first one and the last one. So the first short is about a lady who has to fight her vacuum cleaner robot.
That was great.
Her
that was funny.
Her vacuum cleaner robot tries to kill her, and so there's a whole short about that. That's very funny. And then the final short is about this guy in England, this team of researchers in England who find a giant body that washes up on the shore.
It looks like Dennis Reynolds.
Yeah, it looks like Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny. So this giant naked body washes up on the shore of this town, and the whole episode is about how the town reacts to it and what they do with the body. That one's really good. Those are probably my 2 favorites.
Probably my favorite one was it's a tie between either Pop Squad. That's the one with like where it's in the future and they're hunting down kids.
That was probably the best dramatic episode.
Yeah. I just for visual alone, like I love that style. Ice.
Oh yeah. That's
Ice was really, really good.
That's the episode about the whale running. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
that one was probably the most
made by the same.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say that one's probably the most beautiful of the new episodes.
Yeah, and I believe it's made by the same guys that did the pool episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. The art style is very similar.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, very similar.
Man, the CG ones that they've made this year were just outstanding. Like I had a hard time figuring out what was real and what was like they nailed it.
There was like a couple that I thought were sort of dud episodes. I thought
like the Michael B. Jordan one was kind of disappointing.
That one was really disappointing, especially because
it looked amazing, but it was just
no, it was incredible visually, but the story was kind of like essentially they basically did like Alien, like what if we do Alien but with a robot?
It was like Alien, A Quiet Place.
Yeah,
with Michael B. Jordan.
Which sounds great, except we just had a segment earlier in season 2 about a robot trying to kill someone. So like, I kind of felt like they were repeating themselves. Like, haven't we done this? Also, like, what irritates me is Michael B. Jordan is a great actor, and in this short, so he does physical acting, but I'm talking about he's actually a really good like.
He's really charismatic.
A traditional charismatic actor, and it was really sad to.
It was just him, just like.
I feel like you wasted a perfectly good Michael B. Jordan in this episode.
Or at least like I want him to come back, but I want him to do like one of the voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Like do some of the VO because he's a really good voice actor too. I like that.
I felt overall.
I love the Christmas episode, but
that one's so good.
That one is hilarious.
Actually, you know what? That one actually might be in my ranking of like one of my favorite episodes ever of the whole series.
It's great.
I love that episode because it's 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 6-7 minutes. I thought the one with the train was pretty good. I want them to do more. It's okay. I like the art style quite a bit. I want them to do like more stories, but with that art style.
You were talking earlier about the episode involving the future, the future without children. The detective, the character, the model that they made for that character looks so cool.
That one and the dude in I think it's called Snowy Desert or something.
Oh yeah, the episode about the immortal guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Snow in the Desert. Yeah, that's literally what it's called. That one was really cool.
That guy, you know what? That short reminded me of like Kevin Costner in Waterworld. Like it had a it had a Waterworld vibe to it.
Yeah, like I would watch a whole movie just off of that. It's kind of like Star Wars, Mad Max.
Yeah, it was
with a
sort
little bit of Blade Runner thrown in.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of Star Trek, Star Wars, and like Waterworld kind of like tossed together.
Yeah, it's like that's the one thing that really kind of irks me about Love, Death, and Robots is that some of these shorts are so good.
You almost wish that they were a movie or a TV series.
Like the last season that we got, it was with the Chinese fox spirit and like I would watch a whole series. I would watch a movie series about that.
The robot Kitsune episode is still my favorite of the entire series. It's like without a doubt.
Yeah, it's so goddamn good. Like I wish it was like a movie.
But but here's the thing though, I actually think that there is the short form format of this anthology series, I think, is actually a direct benefit to some of these stories. And I actually disagree with you a little bit. If you took one of the episodes that you really liked and you stretched it out into a TV show or into a movie,
you think it would be as good?
I actually think that the quality would dip throughout the entire thing. And I think sometimes you often love to tell me that sometimes when you present developers and directors with like a limitation, like a box to work in, sometimes
it's true.
We were talking about WandaVision during one of the other episodes, and I had basically said that like the quality of WandaVision has less to do with Age of Ultron, where the characters are introduced, and more with the actual showrunner of the show. He basically took these characters that were like pretty half baked, let's be honest, and turned them into like really good fleshed out. And again, I haven't seen WandaVision. I'm going based off reviews that I've read.
WandaVision is another one of those things where it's kind of like Castlevania, where it's so good at the beginning and then it kind of peters out towards the end. It's like the last couple episodes, they're not bad. It's just like I kind of expected a little more, you know?
You had already experienced all these amazing highs, and so when they weren't matched, you were sort of disappointed.
Also, there's a Malcolm in the Middle episode that is hilarious.
What?
Yeah, they do a whole tribute episode to Malcolm in the Middle. It is phenomenal.
Dewey! Race!
What is wrong with you boys? All right. So I think that's a show. Do you want to talk about Love, Death?
Did you have any final thoughts on Love, Death, and Robots Season 2? I felt overall the quality of the episodes was a little bit less than the first season, but then again, it's not fair to say that because
I'm not going to turn my nose up to any more Love, Death, and Robots. Not. I want all I can say is where's Season 3? I want it already.
Yeah.
But anyway, folks, we had a good time tonight. We talked about Love, Death, and Robots. We tried to see if we were invincible. Turns out we're not. We
talked about hilarious meme fashion.
This is true. Just never ever wear one of those alcohol shirts, or otherwise I will disown you.
That's a weekly chat, Pat.
Out of the will.
That's a weekly chat, Pat. Guarantee I will not wear any 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚 shirts.
We had a lot of fun here tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to comment within the first hour. It really helps us out.
Create engagement.
Make sure to smash the bell. Where can they find you on Twitch?
You can find me, as always, twitch.tv/theobsidianman. You can also find me on Twitter at either Dark Knight Cecil, or if you type in The Obsidian Man on Twitter, I'll show up during either of those searches.
You can also find me on UnluckyMagician76 at twitch.tv. You can also find me on Twitter, as I actually changed it to UnluckyMagician76. Nice. We had a good time here, and we hope to see you again next time. A ding, a ding, a ding, ding.
Remember.
Good night, everybody.
Remember, we love you.
And robots. And death. But mainly robots. Bye.
Peace.